As we welcome everyone joining us throughout the network to the Melbourne Cricket Ground for Melbourne and Hawthorn. The Hawks trying to sew up their spot in September, or just about, with a win this afternoon. The Demons trying to continue some recent good form, and after some narrow losses in recent times, finally crack the thing for a win. Joel Peterson and Lauren Borden with you in the call this afternoon. Chad Wingard and Brett Delidio, your experts, our All-Australians here on ABC Sports. And we've got Alexia Pesce downstairs on a sunny, for now, Saturday here in Melbourne, but it has been highly changeable weather. It is a typical late winter's afternoon here in Melbourne where you look up and you think you see one thing and then 5 minutes later it's completely different. So we have had a little bit of rain. We've had some small hail in parts of Melbourne this afternoon as well. So who knows what we could be in for over the next 3 or so hours. Hopefully a good contest. Of course, it is a big night of footy ahead on ABC Sport 2. Adelaide and Collingwood we're sending you to later at the Adelaide Oval. The AFLW rolls on as well. It is the Roos, the defending premiers, by 6 points over the Cats in that competition. The Giants and Essendon to do battle later this afternoon. The Western Bulldogs in Melbourne. We'll keep you across that. We'll keep you across the NRL, the NRLW, and everything happening in the world of sport. Lids and Chad, as you assess this game this afternoon, The Hawks are the big part and the big talking point in terms of just where their form lines up. They haven't had the offensive weaponry, or at least they haven't stitched that side of their game together this year quite as much as they did last year. But last week,
they were scintillating, weren't they?
The things really started to click. Can you capture that when it hasn't worked for you all season? Can you have that game, capture it, and then take it forward into this next little block?
Oh, I think so. I think that's their blueprint and the way they want to play. You know, I was just thinking back to that. I did that game last Thursday night, and the ability of Jai Newcombe after that huge hit to then impose himself on that game and take control of it largely in the midfield. And Lloyd Meek in there, he's going to have a huge battle on his hands today up against Maxi Gawn, who's arguably going to win his 8th All-Australian this year. For me, though, I think today's game is all about can Melbourne kick a winning score? And I don't think they can, Chad. I think that Petty can be up and down like a yo-yo sometimes. Fritsch has started to find a little bit of form. I don't mind him. Melksham, we know, but he's starting as a sub. He's been incredible for him, Melksham, and his ability to kick goals. But then they're relying on Chandler, maybe Cozzy Pickett to bowl up and kick 5 again. Can they do that? I don't know whether they can against, I think Battle and Barrass have really started to find their feet in the last 5 or 6 weeks. I think they've been really complementing each other really well. Jarman Impey off half back, he provides so much bounce. I love his speed and dash and wanting to go forward with the footy, but the whole team has wanted to do that, Chatty, and I reckon their ability to come back through the middle of the ground is what's opened up other sides, especially Collingwood last week. And if the Demons think that they're just going to try and control this game with their defensive structures, well, I think they'll get opened up and done for leg speed.
Yeah, I agree with everything you've said, Lids, and I'll probably just add to it is I don't think Melbourne can stop the forwards of Hawthorn either. You've got the tools down there, and Joel, Mitchie Lewis, Gunston, and Kel-Shadir as well. And you've got the weapon of Luke Bruce to activate any point in time. And Sammy Mitchell likes activating that in the third quarter. So if one of the tools don't work out, he's got Lukey Bruce to chuck on as well. And like you've mentioned, if they don't win the midfield battle, and even if they do, going forward, like you just mentioned, Barrass, Battle. We haven't mentioned Sis, though. He's been unbelievable since his injury return.
He has.
He's been one of their best, if not best players since when he's come back from that injury. And like I said, he's just playing within his role. And there's some players within Hawthorn that are go under notice. Even Scrimshaw, he's one of the players that I really love. Jarman Impey's almost, I reckon he'd be in the top 5 in the BNF at the moment. That's how important
he's had a great year.
He's had a great year.
Yeah.
And especially when he came forward in Tassie and he kicked 3 goals, it was pretty impressive. So for me, I think Hawthorn should get this done. It's just a matter of their intent, because you are 10% off. We've seen teams that, and if you look at the recent history with Melbourne and Hawthorn, Melbourne have actually won 4 out of the last 5.
Yeah. So,
and they've improved dramatically since their round 9 occasion where Hawthorn actually got on top of them by nearly 40 points. But they are a bit of a bogey side for them, but I think overall Hawthorn are just too strong and their depth is too good.
They've got a steeliness about them, Hawthorn, at the moment. I think that chip on their shoulder about the Will Day stuff, they're done, everyone's writing us off. Well, we're going to come out here and we're going to show it. It's their half forwards to me that typify the way Hawthorn want to play. Up and back, hard work, make the ground big, but then speed back towards goal. Dylan Moore, Connor McDonald, Ginnivan, Watson, their ability to do that and open sides up. I just don't know whether the D's have got the running power to be able to go with them. You know, we know Bowie's a good player, Salem as well. They give you some nice offense, but can they go and spread with those guys? I don't know whether they can.
Jack Bauer looked like he was warming up with the forward group a little while ago for Melbourne as well. Sam Mitchell was really aware of the challenge that they posed Melbourne during the week, unprompted, he mentioned. And I always find it's interesting when the coaches mention this stuff reasonably unprompted. Said, you know, they've been the number one contested ball side over the last month or so. They've brought that strength to their game. Hawthorn started so well last week. Like, they jumped Collingwood straight away. How, Chad, do they, and how do Melbourne maybe try and come in here today and really harness that contested ball strength to try and wrestle something away from Hawthorn?
Well, you've got to set the field up that way. I think Collingwood, they just didn't bring the pressure, and that's what they've been. That's their DNA. They're one of the most applied the pressure in the competition. They haven't done it the last 3 weeks. If you're Melbourne, you probably want to maybe potentially bring another player up to the stoppage, create a bit of a bit more congestion to create that kind of play that they want to do.
Is that what Bowie's doing?
Exactly. Maybe that's what he's doing. Maybe he's coming up to have add an extra number, because that creates obviously more congestion. They might even, their ball movement might stick a little bit more skinny and not try and open themselves up on a bounce return, because, like you said, if they open up the field or go more attacking, it just opens them up defensively where Hawthorn can actually go around them. So you can control a lot with the way that you attack the game and set the game up to create more of a contested ball game. I think the weather could play a huge part in that as well. If it does start to rain or it does get really windy and both teams kind of not get their ball movement going, but we just have to wait and see how Melbourne try and play this.
0437 774 774 throughout the afternoon to fire a question to Chad and Lids, our All-Australians and experts here on ABC Sports. Niels is in the northwest of WA. He's driven 2,500 kilometres in the last 48 hours from Exmouth to Perth and back. Final 200 kilometres to go, and perfect timing to listen to you guys call the Hawks and the D's. That is a good road trip.
Wow.
That's a fair effort.
That is a good road trip. And Wayne in Albany in WA is listening as well. Credit to Brisbane, even after the missed shots at goal by both teams. They were the clear winners on last night when they took on the Dockers. And, that inaccuracy plagued Fremantle throughout the course of the afternoon. There is no doubt about that. Earlier today, the Giants over the Gold Coast Suns by 35 points, and Carlton getting it done quite handsomely over Port Adelaide at Docklands, where I think the roof was securely fastened all the way through. So no worries for Ross. No need for him to get on social media this afternoon.
He's the best deflector in the game.
Oh,
mate, he's like Mark Waugh off his pads. He just clips them beautifully. He doesn't miss too many either, but yeah, I don't know. It wasn't much of a game. I know it was a tight sort of score line, but I was more in tune with the other one, that's for sure.
Yes, I don't think you were alone there, Lids.
What do you call it, Joel? The Who Cares Cup?
The Who Cares Cup is firmly in the hands of St Kilda for
aptly named.
Yes, I think there's a few of them going around this year, but we've got
a few to come too. Yeah.
Yep, we've got enough, and maybe that Sunday game next week, Freo and the Bulldogs will give us plenty to like. The Hawks, of course, it's not a Who Cares Cup for them. It is a game of some real consequence. Luke Bruce and Stephen May in the middle. Stephen May playing game 250. Harry Petty playing game 100 this afternoon, and Luke Bruce too announced his retirement, or his impending retirement during the week. The final home game in front of his Hawthorn faithful, perhaps. So he is in there for the coin toss as well, and wins the toss and kicks to the city end to start us off here in this opening term. If Melbourne are to win, Lids, if they are to win, how do they get it done today?
It's got to be their midfielders, I think, and Cozzy Pickett's got to have another 5 and 25 like he has done a few times, and they've got wins off the back of that. I think that the Gawn-Meek battle is going to be huge. Meek's going to want to do similar to what he did last week to Darcy Cameron, and really try and test out Gawn go forward. But good luck, I suppose. Maxi Gawn's been the reigning best ruckman for the last 8 years almost, because his ability to run and compete has been as good as any. So I think it's their midfield, Joel, if I'm being honest. And then they've got to kick a winning score.
Yeah, and I agree. I just don't think Melbourne have enough going forward. So Melbourne has to just get, like I said, from their middle forward. Cozzy has to have a big game. I think Oliver has to have a big game. And Viney, their whole midfield just really have to step up. And for me, they have to keep him in the game that they want to play. Keep him in tight. Don't let him on the outside. Don't let any switches. Do not let the ball outside. Push them under. Do not let them get outside of the contest, because as soon as you do, their midfield, if you look at them now, Viney, besides Cozzy, they're going to get outside of him pretty quickly. So you just got to make sure you keep them inside, push them under.
Hawks comfortably for me.
Yeah.
So Hawthorn and Melbourne at the MCG in the penultimate round of the season. It's a Saturday afternoon shift for both of these teams. Can the Hawks take care of business? On ABC Sport, here's Lauren Borden.
A chilly afternoon in Melbourne, but the crowd has slowly come in late as they take their seats right before the umpire slams the ball into the turf of the MCG. Gawn comes in over the top and taps it down straight toward, though, of the Hawks. Hand pass to Newcomb, who's tackled, tries to get a hand pass back to Nash. Can't take it. It falls to ground, and Ward will pick it up and kick the Hawks to centre half forward. Chol was there, gets a little palm down to tap it down. And then it's fumbled around by Newcomb, who eventually can pick it up. It's a straight turn over to Gawn. He hand passes under pressure again. Chol's in there for the Hawks, goes in after it, then has to do some of the tackling on Viney, who's grabbed by 3 Hawthorn players, and he's wrapped up the very top of the 50 for Hawthorn, kicking towards the Ponsford stand end of the MCG in this opening term.
In front of the dark green seats, which would have more of the red and blue. And what is here this afternoon? Nash at the stoppage, inside forward 50. Moore picks it up, spins and snaps a goal.
He's telling everyone to set up, Joel.
Dylan Moore snaps. The Melbourne players were onto it straight away, saying it was touched on the way through. And Stephen May stands on the goal line, watches the goal umpire wave 2 flags, and maybe thinks in the back of his mind, this might be coming back. Hawthorn with the first goal for now. 1 straight 6 to Melbourne, yet to score. And whether it counts or not, gee, it was a good finish from Dylan Moore.
I don't know. Dylan Moore's almost doing Adam Gilchrist. Like, too honest, mate. Just celebrate. Like, do not say that you've got touched or you snicked it.
Yep.
Mate, celebrate. Get away with it.
Yeah, he was a bit too honest, wasn't he? But I think it was... I'm trying to see who it was who touched it.
I think it was Howes and Rivers were both there.
Yeah.
Howes went with 1 hand, Rivers with 2.
We'll find out. If it doesn't get over... Yeah, so it must have been the first one, was it?
Yeah.
Howes.
There's House's right hand as he's sort of brushing past the front of
Rivers
Moore.
got one. I don't reckon Rivers got a touch on it. It must have been the first
Oh,
one.
I'll take that.
I think it's going to...
This is who's there.
Right.
There you go. That's early surprise for everyone.
And the umpire's already put the ball back up into the air. So they're back in the middle of the ground. Bowie takes it, hand passes it away to Newcomb, who's swung around in a tackle by Pickett. Just gets a kick away. Ward tries to take it. There's plenty of numbers around the footy. Bowie has it, and then he's pulled to the turf.
Well done. Okay, well, we've got one wrong early, Loz, haven't we?
It is the Hawks leading by that goal, which I think a few of us were waiting for it to be called a point, but everyone's set up. And again, it's tough going in the middle to get it out from the centre square, though. This time at the bottom of the pack, it's Reeves who's pulled up. We'll have another ball up. Reeves just gives Gawn a little shove as they tussle next to each other. It palmed down, and it will be a free kick going the way of the Demons and Clayton Oliver. So they should clear that congestion now as Oliver has it and puts the first kick inside 50 for the D's. So far this afternoon, Sicily standing tall. Juggles the mark above his head and intercepts for the Hawks. So standing at right half back for Hawthorn. Just chips it out wide, looking for Mitch Lewis, who came in to crush the pack, brought it to ground. It was picked up by Langdon, though. Hand passed it to McDonald, dispossessed. Ambrosio picked it up, and he lost the footy. So Lewis came in there just to put the kick in front of Newcomb. Does well to tap it out in front of him to Nash. Gets it away to him, to Reeves, rather, and puts it inside 50. Meek in the end, who kicks inside 50, and it'll be a mark there taken by Gunston.
It was all happening very quickly, wasn't
mate.
it? It was going real fast. It was a clever tap on by Newcomb. His ability to get that over to Meek, and it wasn't what you'd call a drop punt, Chatty, I don't think, but it had enough penetration on it to get over the back and put May in a really precarious position. Craft from Jack Gunston.
So a good tap from Meek to Gunston, who lines up for the goal and puts it straight through the middle. No missing that from Jack Gunston. And it's a quick second goal for the Hawks. 2 straight 12. It's Melbourne who are yet to score. 4 minutes of clean played in the opening term. Saturday afternoon footy on ABC Sport.
Yeah, forgive me for laughing, but I just saw Meekie with a ground ball fend off. Quick snap, and Gunston. And this is the difference in both teams. I mean, Gunston's craft as a forward to mark that, but not get outmarked, more importantly. And you just see Melbourne before. This might be a day for Melbourne where you focus on not getting outmarked first, and obviously before marking it, because Sicily marking that sets up Hawthorn's offence, and they just went straight from D50 to forward 50 just like that. And that's the concern if you're Melbourne. Get the ball to ground, get the likes of your small forwards to actually kick some goals, because you're not a tall timber that's going to mark a lot.
Just got to come to ground.
Got to get it to ground, and then that's how you get the contested ball up and win and get the game in your favour.
Chad Wingard and Brett Delidio are experts on ABC Sport this afternoon. Hawks with 2 early goals. It's Meek and Max in the ruck. This time Gawn controls it down. Petrarca, a wobbly kick to centre half forward, lands in the lap of Sicily, tackled immediately, and we'll have it tossed up at the top of the 50. Nick McGuinness scoots in and throws it up. Gawn side on to the footy as he shuffled across to knock it out, looking for Petrarca. Viney's in over the top. We'll have another stoppage still at half forward. Luke Bruce, the sub for Hawthorn. Jake Melksham, the sub for Melbourne. No late changes for either side coming into this game. Hawks kicking to the City end of this opening term. Meek controls it down to Moore at the stoppage. Handball away to Newcomb, who backtracks, has all the time in the world as he's finally accosted by Pickett. Stabs his kick in front of the Hawthorn interchange to Moore, who's found some of his best form, the All-Australian from last season over the last month. Goes back to Sicily, whips the kick across the defensive 50. Dangerous one, made Barras work for it. Van Rooyen did well, brought it to ground. Hardwick scoots in and picks it up. He's immediately tackled, and we'll have a ball up at centre half forward for Melbourne.
He's got a real tendency to have a few of those arrogant kicks, hasn't he, Sis?
No comment.
Yeah.
Gawn works his way in the ruck contest, takes it under his arm, then loses it. Viney has a go, kicks it into the player in front of him, gets it back, puts it on his left boot to kick it inside 50, but it's taken by Hardwick, who can clear it straight through the middle of the ground. Ginnivan's got it, and he'll put it on his boot and go directly inside 50,
kick.
looking for Gunston again, slides on his knees.
What a great kick.
And takes the mark.
You know what he saw there, Loz? He saw Gunston behind May, but then he saw him point, and he pulled that kick right across his body, which was to the space for Gunston to really be able to lead and get into. Geez, that was a nice kick by Ginnivan.
Yeah.
I thought he might have used the hands of McDonald, who's faster, obviously, than Ginnivan, but his ability just to find the space there was first class.
I didn't waste any time in transitioning it into the forward 50 as Gunston, on his approach, has got 2 in a row. And the Hawks are moving quickly here at the MCG. 3 straight 18. The D's are yet to score. It's an 18-point lead the way of the Hawks, who need to win this game to secure their finals position. 6 minutes played in the opening term. Saturday afternoon footy on ABC Sport.
Yeah, and this is the trouble with Melbourne. As soon as the ball gets outside of the contest, they're so vulnerable. You got 4 Hawthorn players outside of Melbourne, and yes, Stephen May's setting up as a defender, thinking that it's going to go down the line, and that's been working for them throughout his whole career.
Yep.
But as soon as there's a shift or there's no ball pressure in his face for Ginnivan, it allows him to have the time and space to say, okay, where's the space for Gunston? It's actually to the right of him. And that's what happens when you just don't have pressure on ball. You get a good disposal, good kicker with that amount of time. It's going to be dangerous for any defender to try and, defend that. But what a great kick. What a great finish.
So 3 early ones now for the Hawks from the restart. Meek shovels it up to Warple, who tumbles a kick up toward the edge of the 50. Turner going back there. Lewis brought it to ground. Now the Hawks onto it through Ginnivan. Handball away. Howes got pounded in the tackle by Jaff. And the Hawks' pressure is up early. No mistaking that. In the early stages here at the MCG. Joel Peterson, Lauren Borden calling it for you. Brett Delidio, Chad Wingard, your experts, and Alexia Pesce on the boundary. Gawn at centre half back. Taps it out to Oliver. Hacks his kick forward. It bounces and rumbles through a big pack. Ended up with Barras. Handball away through a set of hands. Ended up with Sicily. He's on the AFL logo where he's dragged down in the tackle by Sparrow. And we'll have it tossed up once more. Hawthorn 3 straight. D's yet to score through 8.5 minutes in the first.
Meek with front position, pushes it down. Petrarca will meet the ball, quickly hand pass it across to Turner, who tried to get the footy off his boot. It's smothered by Sicily. Hand passes it backwards towards Nash. He tries to kick forward, and Cully gets a hand on it. Means it can get down to Sparrow, who just dabs the kick inside 50, and Petty's on the end of it. And Harry Petty will have a set shot, about a 45-degree angle from 50 metres out in his 100th game to put a score on the board for Melbourne.
Well, it was better, wasn't it, from Melbourne, their ability to keep the ball in tight and not allowed to get out. Good pressure on the Nash kick, the smother. That was about the only way they looked like getting forward, was some good pressure on the ball and more of a mistake probably from Hawthorn. But big kick this one just to settle the nerves for the D's.
So Harry Petty in his 100th game. Backman back to forward, holding that position at the moment. It's a good-looking kick off his boot.
Nice kick.
And he swung it through. A beautiful set shot there from Harry Petty to put the first goal on the scoreboard for Melbourne. They're 1 straight 6. They're just trailing Hawthorn now by 12 points, 3 straight 18, the Hawks. About 9.5 minutes have ticked over in this first term at the MCG.
Yeah, and like you said, Lids, that kick from Petrarca was pretty special. It was the only option, and if I was Melbourne, I'm not really loving the setup that they've got now. So Hawthorn looks so safe behind the ball. They've got a keeper at all times. So if they kick long or if it's a quick kick, Hawthorn are going to mop this up and go outside, down the other side very quickly.
Yep.
If I was Melbourne, I'd try and even the numbers, making sure you've always got 6 forwards.
Never allowed to have a plus one.
Do not allow them to have a plus one. Similar to Geelong back in the day, you never give them just a plus one because they can just set up their whole defence. It actually set up their offence. So if I was Melbourne, bit of warning signs early. Equalise. I think it's the only way they can get the ball to ground and then create this contested type of play they're trying to get. Great
insight from Chad Wingard and Brett Delidio. Our All-Australians at the back of the box on ABC Sport. From the restart, this time it's Warple to Nash. Kick into the back of Pickett. Spins its way through the centre. Sharp was grabbed by Warple. And we'll have a ball up. Let's get down to the final member of our broadcast team, Lex Pesce. G'day, Lex.
Hello, guys. Sorry I wasn't here earlier. I was running upstairs to get a wet weather jacket. It's actually stayed away, though. Nothing's working in my favour as far as weather goes, but the crowd is building, so it's getting good down here.
Give it 5 minutes, it'll be sunny. Give it 5 minutes, you'll need it again. This time the Hawks inside the 50, and Gunston's on the lead again. And the delivery from Josh Ward this time. In fact, it might have been Warple. The kick inside the forward 50.
Ginnivan again.
Was Ginnivan. There you go.
On his opposite shoe. He's just getting so much time and space, Jack Gunston. Because of his craft and his ability to get on the move quickly, Stephen May's no slouch, but he had just time and space there. Great kick again.
So 2 already for Jack Gunston, who keeps on turning the clock back. This one's across the face to the right. Slapped back in, but not before it cleared the behind line. 3-1 to 1 straight. Hawks out by 13 points early doors. Saturday footy on ABC Sport. 11.5 minutes gone in the opening term. You can get in touch, 0437 774 774.
Chad, what was the relationship like between Gunston and Bruce? They mentioned they were rivals, but also great friends. Is that how you saw it? They just pushed themselves to be better?
Yeah, it's almost like a bit of banter is the way I'd call it, like competitive banter, like who's better. Like they just compete in any aspect of life, to be honest. And I think with Bruce retiring, I think Gunston will let him know it as well. Like that's the kind of relationship they have. But yeah, they are good mates and they love each other. But it's just it's a funny one. It's great to see and great to witness when I was there.
So the ball's tossed back in. Gorn gets a little tap out. Pickett just overran it. Petrarca could pick it up. Hand pass it across to McVie, who goes by hands back to Pickett. Moves it quickly by foot to Cully, who marks a little unsure of what to do as Chandler running beside him. Hand passes it off to Oliver. He puts it on his boot towards a 2-on-1, and it's the Hawks that win out, who had their numbers from Sicily and Sparrow. Just perhaps a little tap on Sicily there as he goes to ground. And he's not happy about it either as he goes back to pick up the footy. Chips it inboard towards Moore. He wants to switch it backwards towards centre half back. Mark taken by Battle, and he'll go all the way back out to left half back towards Scrimshaw. Just a little chip forward again towards Ward. So they're going by foot here with uncontested marks. Chip towards Scrimshaw. He then takes a bounce and now they'll move it quickly. Hand pass to McDonald. Hand pass to Amon. Puts the kick inside 50. Looking for Gunston, of course. He runs onto it. Can't take the mark, but can run onto it and pick up the footy. Hand pass it back to Hardwick. They're 70 metres from home now. Hand pass to Ward. Nice pass. Can get it to centre half forward towards Warple, who puts the kick inside 50. McDonald will mark. And that was well worked by the Hawks.
That was pretty special. Again, it's just changing of angles. That kick from Moore into the corridor, that just opened up the whole 50. I mean, you talk about Ginnivan before. They're small forwards at the moment, and Connor McDonald's on the end of this, but they're just looking so potent. You wonder why Lukey Bruce is obviously starting his sub, is because the guys that he's helped develop, as well as the coaching staff, are phenomenal players to have. And getting up and then getting back, and yeah, we'll see if we can start this one from about 45.
So he comes in almost directly in front, starts this one a little off to the right. It doesn't pull back. So just a minor score for McDonald. It's Hawthorn ahead by 14 points. Lex Pesce on the boundary.
Chad, you mentioned Luke there. As soon as Nick Watson came off, he's gone straight to him and given him some advice or some feedback. So already, even though he's not retired yet and said he wanted to end up in the coaching ring, he's doing it early.
May's kick in was a poor one. Straight to Impey, who's marked it right on the paint of the 50. Pokes it to guess who? Jack Gunston, who marks 46 metres out, 10 in from the boundary right forward pocket.
Is that his 4th mark inside 50 already?
Yep.
He's just getting complete separation at the moment. They're going to have to change over this matchup because the May one isn't working. I know he kicked it out, but then you've got to go and find your man, don't you? And Jack Gunston just continues to lead. This is a tough kick, but wouldn't put it past him.
55 goals on the season already. He sinks his right slipper into it. The crowd tries to ride it home. And it's away to the right all the way. 2 goals, 2 for Jack Gunston in the early going. Hawthorn's got 3 goals, 3. D's 1 straight. 15 gone opening term.
It's all Gunston at the moment, isn't it? Deer, Chol, haven't sided it. Lewis had 1 or 2 touches. He's doing it all.
So May chips it into the left back pocket towards Salem, puts it right down to a pack. Van Rooyen had 2 hands to it at the top of the pack, but couldn't pull in the mark, and it'll be out of bounds for a throw-in. Right at centre half forward for the Hawks. We've had much of the play in this opening term, and like you said, Lids, a lot of it's just been going into the hands of Jack Gunston. As the umpire tosses the footy in, Hawthorn leading by 15 points. And Ryan does the tap out, comes straight down to McDonald, though he can go inside 50. Another one for the Hawks, goes out the back of the pack. It'll spill down. Mays there chasing it. McVee gets in there for the D's. Hand pass to Salem, still hemmed him close to the goals for Melbourne. Comes out to Rivers, hand pass to McDonald. Rivers goes back in for it. He's taken in a tackle by Deer and held in. And the umpire will cross his arms and ball it up. So Hawthorn able to lock the footy inside their forward 50. They're leading by 15 points. 15 minutes have been played in this opening term.
8 inside 50s to 3 in the early going. Chola doing the ruck work. Got it down to Moore. Hooks the kick to full forward. It's a curling ball centrally. Lewis slaps it on for the Hawks, but only to Salem for Melbourne. Kicks under pressure. Exiting the defensive 50. Rising was Sparrow. Couldn't take the mark. And he was infringed upon in the marking contest. Was Tom Sparrow, a South Australian. So he's got it from inside the defensive 50. No one stand the mark. So he floats away from half-back. Kicks it long down the broadcast side wing. Floating in from the side. A heavy landing for Tom Barris. Free kick going to Melbourne in the marking contest to Petty. Who's been done no favours by Clayton Oliver, just rolling the ball back to him pretty nonchalantly. So Petty's got it from right on halfway for Melbourne. Down by 15 points in the early going at the MCG. Kicks a high ball inside the 50. Van Rooyen launches, can't mark. Sparrow did the roving, jammed it on the boot. It trickles its way toward the boundary line in the pocket. It is stepped over by Amon. Lex downstairs. Has that rain jacket come in handy early going?
Yes, I have not got this right. But yes, it has.
You sound thrilled about it too.
It's about 9 degrees out there. Imagine if you were sitting down there, Joel.
Oh, well, I wouldn't be, Loz.
So from the throw-in, it's Oliver that grabs it. A sky-high ball goes into the right forward pocket in the end. Langford's chasing after it, can't gather it. It's D'Ambrosio who's there for the Hawks. Hand pass across from a 2 battle, who was worse for wear a few minutes ago. Long kick right outside of defensive 50. Lewis running onto it, takes the mark.
Gives you earned that one.
And then he dishes off the footy quickly towards D'Ambrosio, who's caught a little high, the umpire says. So it was taken to ground, but he gets away with it. It'll be free kick to the former Don, now a Hawk. He's only missed a game since transferring across to Hawthorn. Kicks right down the wing, and it's Viney, though, who chimes in with a mark. Was touched off the boot, wasn't paid. He's tackled to the ground by Warple. And the umpire will ball it up about centre wing, outer side of the ground. The floodlights all on at the MCG in the dark skies as well. Hawthorn ahead by 15 points, nearly 18 minutes played.
Lauren Borden, Joel Peterson calling the action for you. Brett Delidio, Chad Wingard, your expert. Lex Pesce down on the boundary. Yeah, I'm nowhere near tough enough to go and sit down there, Loz. Let's be honest.
Those days are gone?
Long gone. And I'm not sure they were ever there, to be honest. Here's Langford away from the stoppage. He's been so impressive. First year for the D's. Kicks to Bowie. Goes inside the 50 to a 1-on-2. And that was easy pickings for Blake Hardwick, who combined with Scrimshaw to outpoint Bailey Fritsch. Kicks outside the defensive 50 on the bounce. Worked it well for Battle. Now for Ginnivan. Handball down the boundary line. Finds McDonald in front of the interchange gates. He shoots his kick up the line. Found Deer. Deer's got Watson breaking toward the top of the 50. He's got Gunston in the pocket. He's got options everywhere by hand. Goes to McDonald. Central kick. Puts it to a dangerous position. Chol in from the back. Running across to try and get there was Lewis. Goes to ground. 30 out from the Hawthorn goal. They fight for it. Lewis picks it up. Throws it on his left boot. Wobbly ball into the pocket. May chases it back there. Moore sliding in. No one can keep it in. And it'll be tossed back in. Left forward pocket. City end. As that rain continues just to get a little bit heavier.
It's a little haze across the MCG at the moment, as you can see quite a few fans making their way undercover. He's in the bottom tier to find some cover. Gawn has front position, just palms it away towards Chandler, gets tackled but still gets a kick away, although it'll be a straight turnover as McDonald marks at centre half forward for the Hawks. So the kick under pressure, McDonald was there to take the mark, just wants to chip it towards Battle. He's still at centre half forward for the Hawks. He goes long into the pocket, into a pack. Gunston was there but fell over, couldn't take it. Rivers comes back for the D's, hand pass across to Gawn. He just flicks it across to May, and it's May who'll put a clearing kick outside of defensive 50. Battle and Petrarca in on one-on-one. Petrarca tapped it away, and it comes back to him. The ball ricocheting back into his hands. He just curves the footy around the boundary line into some space. Grimshaw in a tussle against Van Rooyen, who did well to get in front and take the footy. Hand pass to Chandler. It's a bit of a slippery footy now. He couldn't take it quickly. Ward was there for the Hawks. Hand pass to Warple. He hand passed backwards under pressure to Sharp, who's pulled to the ground, and it'll be a ball up.
So the work rate from Hawks there is just so superior. You think the Melbourne midfielders about 3 or 4 metres away, almost 10 metres off the Hawthorn players then.
And 24 more touches in the early going of the Hawks. Chad Wingard with you on ABC Sport. Ginnivan fights for the footy. Cully, who's been a handy inclusion into this Melbourne team. Handball to Salem. Handball inside forward 50 now for the D's. Oliver tracks it back there. Amon picks it up. In fact, Oliver got the kick away under the pressure of Amon. Then Bowie was drilled in the tackle by Ginnivan. Caught holding the ball, and the Hawks are away. Moore scoots away off half-back. Flares the handball out wide to D'Ambrosio. He kicks to half-forward. Guess who? It's Gunston. And Stephen May reaches over the top, sinks his left fist into it, and puts the yellow footy into the advertising hoardings. The defender in game 250 doing what he does best and nullifying the contest. And it'll be thrown in at left half forward for the Hawks. They lead by 15. We've played 21 minutes in the opening turn.
So Gawn and Lloyd Meek track the footy as it's tossed in. Meek gets a little tap out, but it goes straight to his opposing rack and Gawn. Hand passes it to Langdon. He's tackled, can get a hand pass away to Sparrow. Flicks it back to Chandler, who moves it to Langdon. He's a hand pass, though, falls into some space, and it'll be a tackle that brings the footy down to Langdon. He puts it on his boot and just kicks it down the line towards Petty, who marks and tries to find Fritsch inside 50, gets to him on the half volley, shrugs off the tackle, can hand pass towards Sharp, who's got Impey in front of him. He tries to send a dinky kick to Van Rooyen, and it's out of bounds on the full. And it'll be a Hawthorn free inside defensive 50 for the Hawks. 15 points ahead, 21 minutes played in the first term.
I was reminiscent of the Dockers last night. It just all opened up for them and they couldn't finish it off.
It was a good read by Scrimshaw, though, to come forward to defend, put the pressure on Fritsch, and then put everyone else under pressure thereafter.
Nash kicks long outside the defensive 50. They fight for it. At the 22-minute mark, the applause and the Bruce around the ground for Luke Bruce. So if you're wondering whether someone was just getting randomly booed, it doesn't appear to be the case. At the 22-minute mark, the Hawks fans saluting their retiring champ. They've got it in their hands at the moment. They are controlling this game with consummate ease at Hawthorn. Joel Peterson, Lauren Borden calling it for you on ABC Sport. Brett Delidio, Chad Wingard, your experts, and Lex Pesce on the boundary. Great kick from Ginnivan to find Watson. The two protagonists up front for Hawthorn. Watson's got it at right half forward. He kicks inside the 50. Gunston juggles it into his chest. Well, he's had a shot from a very similar spot to here. Yeah. This is a couple of metres closer toward the boundary line in the right forward pocket.
Watson just really waited for him to get to work, didn't he? And he protected the ball really well with his back. Didn't allow May to have access to it.
So Gunston's not going to take the shot on. He sets it up. There's a whistle on the play from the out-of-zone umpire, and he's going to Big Max at the top of the behind line. Hawks by 15 points, 23.5 gone in the first term as that rain continues to fall.
Gone with a thumping kick all the way out to the outer side of the ground. When the umpire's found a free, it won't be play on. It'll be coming back to the D's, and looks like to Van Rooyen. So the rain's starting to come down quite heavily at the moment. Grey skies as well, as Van Rooyen bumps it on his boot as well to get plenty of distance. Comes to the back of the pack. Fritsch is there, happy to just slide over the boundary line with the footy. And they've gained the territory for a ball in it between wing and half forward for the D's. So Harry Petty, their only goal kicker so far in this first term. The opening 3 goals of the game going the way of the Hawks. Moore and 2 goals to Gunston. And it is Hawthorn now leading by 15 points. It's tossed in and gone. Just taps it down. Ricochets off Warple's body. Comes back to Meek, who just shrugs off his opponent and puts it on his boot. He'll get it all the way to left half forward for the Hawks, where he finds Gunston running onto it. He dabs it inside 50. Good kick. There's Watson running onto it. And Watson now will have his chance to go back and have a set shot at goal. Almost directly in front as well. But again, just good delivery inside 50 there. And Gunston could play a part in another score in the first quarter.
I'm not sure what May was doing. Was he chatty? He just dropped right off Gunston. Got to see that one out. He's the most dangerous player on the ground at the moment, Jack Gunston. I'll be sticking pretty close.
So in comes Nick Watson. He's had a contract extension this week. He puts this one towards goals and it sails right over the umpire's head. A goal to Nick Watson. It's Hawthorn's fourth in this opening term. 4-3-27. They've built a 21-point lead against Melbourne. One straight 6. 25 minutes gone in the first term. It's Saturday afternoon footy on ABC Sport. Your experts, Chad Wingard and Brett Delidio.
Yeah, Hawthorn have just set this game up so well. I love what Sammy Mitchell's doing. He's keeping the keeper at every single contest. Even if Melbourne win it, they go forward, all they see is Hawthorn. And he's just set this game up so perfectly. My question to you, Lids, is Gunston going to get the third All-Australian in terms of that third tool? Because I've got Jeremy Cameron and I've got Phil Thorpe.
Yep.
Who's going to get that third one? Is it going to be Ben King, Aaron Norton, Georgiadis or Gunston?
I'm picking a side. I'm going for flexibility. I'm going with Jack Gunston.
But All-Australian. Who
that's what I'm saying. I'm picking a team.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Jack Gunston.
55 goals on the year for Jack Gunston. He's been superb and playing a role in creating plenty as well. Brett Delidio, Chad Wingard, your experts on ABC Sport. Dees with the clearance. High kick toward half forward and Scrimshaw is able to tilt his head skyward. Not take too much of the raindrops in the eyes and still pulling the mark. Now Impey at half back. The Shepparton product. Hands on to the runners coming past. Amon kicks to half forward. Ginnivan almost pulled in the one-hander opposed to Salem. Salem comes away with the footy. Handball off to May. Scoots a kick down the line. Sparrow and Rivers both fought for the same footy in the same colours. And they worked it out pretty nicely. It was Sparrow who handballed to Rivers. Kicks up the line. Fritsch fight for it in the marking contest. Langdon goes to ground. Slaps it to Sisley of Hawthorn. Now to Scrimshaw. And the ball in brown and gold hands once more. Kick down the line. Free kick in the marking contest. As it went into the centre of the ground, and it will be going to Melbourne, who can move it forward through Sparrow, and now Viney, who's marked between the wing and half forward.
Spins and puts it on his left boot to go inside 50 for the D's. It'll be a mark. Take a note. It won't go the way of Langford. Comes back down, and here's Impey again to gather and collect and flare it out wide to Amon, who's still in the defensive 50 for the Hawks, but right at the top. Another solid defensive effort there from the Hawks as Amon just takes the footy on, taps it on the turf, and then goes to hand pass it down the line towards Battle, who puts it on his boot. He'll kick to a pack at centre wing, and it's Mitch Lewis at the front who can take the mark, and he wants to play on quickly. It's been working for the Hawks all day. He goes inside towards Kausha Deer. What a mark. Tapped it with his right hand to get some control, place it in front of him, and then caught it with his left against Turner, who had a good position on him, and Kausha Deer, though, holds on to the mark.
That was special. I don't think he came into that contest thinking he was going to mark it. He just wanted to bring it to ground. Just a soft hand to tap it to your advantage and then mark it the next. I mean, these tools for Hawthorn all add something different and dynamic, but that's pretty special there by Kausha.
So Kausha Deer just puts this one towards goal, and he delivers. 1 for Kausha, 5 for the Hawks in the first term. 5-3-33. Melbourne, 1 straight 6. Already this margin's pushed out to 27 points, late stages of this first term. 28 minutes played, Saturday afternoon footy on ABC Sport.
Well, if you look at this game first, Chatty, and you're thinking, well, if we can guarantee one thing, it's going to be Stephen May's going to put to sleep one of our the key forwards. He's been caught red-handed, hasn't he, really? Jack Gunston's already had 5 marks inside 50. And then you're putting it down to, young Turner and McDonald down there to try and shut out the other key forwards. But it's the ability of the midfield to outwork, and those high half forwards, their ability to get up and then work back and spread this field. And the wingmen play such a crucial role with the Hawks. They're outworking and outspreading the D's at the moment.
And 3 goals from stoppages as well for Hawthorn, so they're getting it done in this facet of the game as well from the restart. Meek just toe pokes it forward for Hawthorn. They can pinch a late one here before quarter time. Ball rumbles around at centre half forward. Nash picks it up for the Hawks. Handball back to a team under all kinds of pressure. Kick away from Newcomb, dribbles inside the forward 50. Scooped up by McDonald of Melbourne. Handball off to Pickett, kicks up the line. Fritsch had it slide through his hands. Hardwick came over the top, was overzealous. Picked up by Petrarca. Advantage paid, kicks inside the 50. Van Rooyen rises up, can't take the mark. Impey stayed down and did well, handed it off to Battle. Battle kicks outside the defensive 50, right to halfway, where Fritsch marks and intercepts for Melbourne.
Kicks it across to Cully, who's spinning the footy just forward of the Melbourne bench and puts it inside 50 for a late chance for Melbourne to take a mark. It slips through Langford's hands in the end anyway. Horns ended up on the turf as the siren sounds for quarter time. There's a slight bit of pushing and shoving. Sicily's involved. Gone still just sitting down on his knees as he gets some help from his teammates to get back up, and they'll make their way across their respective huddles now. But it was all Hawthorn in the first term. Great transitioning and quick movement straight into their forward 50 means they're 27 points up at quarter time. 5-3-33 Hawthorn playing for a spot to confirm their spot in the finals rather. Melbourne 1 straight 6. The goal kickers so far in this game, Harry Petty is the sole goal kicker for the D's in that opening term. Well, for Hawthorn, Jack Gunston's got 2 out of his 4 shots. Cal Shadir's got a single, and Dylan Moore as well with the first goal of the game, Joel.
So bright start for Hawthorn, Loz. They raced out of the blocks. They kicked 3 goals in the opening 6 minutes, and they were able to control the game thereafter, as you said, needing a win to get through to September, or at least go very close to sewing up their spot. Melbourne playing for pride and trying to shape the teams that'll make the 8 at this time of the year. Earlier today, GWS winners over the Gold Coast, so that goes a long way to making their finals berth assured and puts the Gold Coast at least in some kind of jeopardy, even with the game in hand. And then Carlton over Port Adelaide in a big way. In the AFLW, it is North Melbourne by 7 points over Geelong as well, with 6 minutes to go in the third quarter. In that game, the first of 3 on the docket in the W this afternoon. Hawks by 27 points here at the G. Trust you're enjoying Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
The summer of cricket has arrived early.
Clubs it straight down the ground for 6. He's on the pull shot. Boy, did he get that.
White ball cricket takes centre stage in the top end as Australia take on South Africa.
Shout for leg before. Finger goes up.
And it's on now on the ABC Listener.
Down the pitch, there we go. Bang.
Every ball live. Just click on the cricket button. This is the 2025 AFL Premiership season on ABC Sport.
In front of the dark green seats, which would have more of the red and blue. What is here this afternoon. Nash at the stoppage, inside forward 50. Moore picks it up, spins and snaps a goal. Dylan Moore snaps. Hawthorn with the first goal.
So Lewis came in there just to put the kick in front of Newcomb. Does well to tap it out in front of him. Puts it inside 50. Meek in the end, who kicks inside 50, and it'll be a mark there taken by Gunston. So good tap from Meek to Gunston, who lines up for the goal and puts it straight through the middle. No missing that from Jack Gunston, but it's taken by Hardwick, who can clear it straight through the middle of the ground. Ginnivan's got it, and he'll put it on his boot and go directly inside 50. Kick. Looking for Gunston again, slides on his knees.
What a great kick.
And takes the mark.
Geez, that was a nice kick by Ginnivan. His ability just to find the space there was first class.
Didn't waste any time in transitioning it into the forward 50 as Gunston on his approach has got 2 in a row. Backwards towards Nash. He tries to kick forward and Cully gets a hand on it. Means it can get down to Sparrow, who just dabs the kick inside 50 and Petty's on the end of it. Harry Petty in his 100th game. Backman back to forward, holding that position at the moment. It's a good-looking kick off his boot, and he swung it through.
This is ABC Sports coverage of the AFL.
On your radio,
ABC Sport Digital,
and on the ABC Listen app.
That was the story of the first term, and it was all Hawthorn. 5-1 in the opening quarter for the Brown and Gold. And they lead by 27 points over Melbourne, looking for a 15th win of the season that would take them to 60 premiership points, and that is going to be the number that you need to get into September. Hawthorn could still make it, But, of course, the Bulldogs with 2 games to play, they're on 52 at the moment on the outside, looking in with a very healthy percentage. And all those teams above them are trying to jostle for spots as well. Joel Peterson and Lauren Borden calling the action for you. Brett Delidio and Chad Wingard, your experts. Lex Pesha on the boundary as well. Hawthorn's best opening term against Melbourne since 2017. 5 goals, 333 to the D's. 1 straight 6. Chad, Lids, what did we make of that opening frame?
It was pretty dominant from the Hawks, wasn't it? Their ability to win at first. I mean, the clearances aren't out of whack by any stretch, Chatty. The big 4 players of Melbourne have gone in and tried to get the job done for them, but since out of that initial congestion, Hawthorn just controlled the footy. They've had 103 disposals to 78. They've denied Melbourne the actual football, and they've done it through just kick mark. They're dominating in that area.
Yeah, I agree. There's 32 marks to 9 for the game, and 8 of those marks for Hawthorn have come inside forward 50. It's only 14 to 11 inside 50s. Not a big difference. And like I said, to the way that the teams have structured their team up, I don't think Melbourne has set themselves up to win because they're just allowing their, Hawthorn defenders to have an outnumber. And when they do go forward, whose mids are getting there first? Whose defenders, whose wingers are getting there first? It's all Hawthorn. They're just outworking. Yep. They're working hard, and it starts their offense. So, for me, Melbourne have got a lot of work to do. They're not working hard. I don't think they're set up for success in their structures, but a lot of it is on effort and intensity because they're not stopping to kick marks. For 32 marks inside in 1 quarter is outrageous, and especially 8 inside forward 50.
And 5 of them to one player.
That's crazy. We used to try and aim for 12 inside forward 50 marks a game for reference. So 8 in 1 quarter is amazing for Hawthorn. So that's something to hang their hat on. So
you said at the start, before the game or the ball had been bounced, that you thought they might maybe need to bring someone up to try and outwork the Hawthorn mids. That hasn't worked because then they're just allowing that spare. So that Bowie looks like he might be that player, his ability to come up and mix it up a little bit. But you've got to then equalise. You've got to get back to try and support, and you need a better contest from your big key forwards to bring that ball to ground.
So some work to do for the D's as we start the second term. Lloyd Meek just puts the head down and charges into Max Gawn. Had no real attempt at making the footy work for him, and the Hawks take it away from the stoppage. Centre clearance for them. Long kick from Warple to full forward. Gunston goes up, this time opposed to Howes, who just got the handball away to May. Top of the defensive goal square. McVie was bereft of options, and Moore dives across the kick to smother it out of play. So that pressure has been continued for the Hawks this side of quarter time, and they immediately lock it inside forward 50 for a stoppage. It'll be tossed back in next to the left hand behind post. The 2 rucks scurry across. Meek down decisively. Warple almost on the end of it. They fight for it again at the top of the goal square. Gawn just shoveled that backward, and he gets a little bit of help to rush it through for a minor score. That pushes Hawthorn's lead out to 28 points. The scoreboard's just gone with Melbourne getting that point, but they're kicking in, so I don't think that'd be the case.
Need all the help they can get, don't they?
Yes. Yep.
Maybe it's a Melbourne person doing the scoreboard changing up in there, like back at local footy.
Take your scarf off.
As May kicks it out towards a pack. Chandler's just at the back of it. He tries to shovel it behind him. D'Ambrosio's there. In the end, he fights with 3 other Hawks for the footy. It comes back to him, and the ball will all be wrapped up. Sharp getting up from it. D'Ambrosio on the bottom of the pack.
If it is a Melbourne person doing the scoreboard, yes, at least there's a Melbourne person here.
Well, that's it. Yeah. That is true. Not at the Snow.
It's a little harsh from you, Joel. There's a lot of brown and gold out there, though. Newcombe shovels the ball in to keep it in play. D'Ambrosio runs it out. Yeah, when you do look around, it's a lot of brown and gold.
I've had a lot of texts in to say that I'm a Melbourne supporter listening from the MCG, from my seat.
Yep.
That would be interesting if we got any of those, but hopefully they need their side to turn up too as well. That'd be handy for them.
Did you see some red and blue ski jackets when you were up at the Snow during the week?
No, I didn't. Lots of blue. I was at Mount Buller. So a lot of blue jackets.
A lot of blue.
One with the red insignia of Melbourne.
What colour were you rocking?
I was in the camo green.
Oh,
not camo, but green.
It's not really camo in snow, though, is it?
Army green, yeah. Yeah.
So Gawn bashes it out. It'll be a throw-in in front of the Hawthorn bench. Gawn again is in front position. It just comes off his boot in the end towards Ward, though. Hand pass to Impey, and it's the Hawks that'll win the footy. Impey puts it on his boot to get it 25 metres down the line of the G. May's there to collect to Salem. He's just happy to carry that over the boundary line. Almost looked like he went to keep it in, but was clearly just happy to see that one over for a throw-in at centre-half forward for the Hawks. They're leading by 28 points, 2.5 minutes played in the opening term.
May and Salem among a couple of Ds to have 7 possessions so far. John Newcomb's got the most on the ground with 10, 6 of those contested. He's got 4 tackles as well. D'Ambrosio at the stoppage here. It's worked its way into the middle of the ground. He's tackled by Bowie. And the umpire comes in and says, I'll have it. Nathan Toner, Brent Wallace, Martin Roger, Nick McGuinness. Now 4 central umpires this afternoon. Meek rushes across, had first hands to it. Gawn reaches over the top with a secondary tap. Chandler took it away for Melbourne, but his handball was pinched by Warple. Kicks inside forward 50. High footy is marked well by Salem, who has continued to get plenty of the footy for Melbourne, but hasn't found his usual damage ball in hand. That's an aggressive kick toward the top of the defensive 50. It's almost cut off by the Hawks. They go into fight mode for it, both teams. Neutral ball picked up by Petrarca. He flung it forward to Viney. Then he provides some overlap run. Kicks inside the 50. Fritsch is in best position. Sicily gets back. Fritsch tries to juggle it to the ground. Couldn't take the mark. Now Scrimshaw comes back to provide support for Hawthorn. Got it back to Barris. Now to Newcomb. He drops the mark in the back pocket. Had enough time to butter up. Kick missed Ward. Let Gawn in. Oliver in the right forward pocket. Hooks it around the body. And finds Petrarca, who's 35 from home on a 45-degree angle.
They just couldn't exit there, Hawthorn, could they? It was well set up by the Ds. They've upped their intensity a little bit there. Gawn obviously covering the exit. Clever work from Clayton Oliver just to find his midfield mate in Petrarca sitting inside. He's kicked that pretty... It didn't spin well, but it found the target, Chatty.
Yeah, and it was just a drop mark by Newcomb that actually allowed the door open for Melbourne. So they marks that. I think they're pretty safe and getting out safer. But just a drop mark and Petrarca from about 40, see if he can capitalise.
17 on the season for Christian Petrarca. Slow approach, starts at left, and he strikes the left-hand goalpost flush. The ball tumbles about 20 metres back into play. 1-1-7 Melbourne, 5-4-34 Hawthorn, 4 gone second term. And Jane on the text line says, I'm a Melbourne supporter listening from my seat at the G.
Love it.
Less of the snow jokes, please. So
Sorry,
good on
Jane.
you, Jane. We'd love to hear that.
Yep.
I need receipts.
I'm sure she's repping the Melbourne colours today.
Or a seat number.
Send a photo in. I don't know. Need proof.
I like it. Shout out, Jane.
So Hawthorn works the footy along the length of the wing. Gets to almost just forward of the wing for the Hawks, kicking towards the punt road end of the MCG in this second term, which is where their cheer squad is. Down that end of the ground as the umpire flings the ball back in. And it's Meek at the front, little tap down towards Newcomb. He takes it and then takes it under him. He's just kept there by Viney, so it'll be a ball up just between wing and half forward for the Hawks. Gawn in front position gets the tap out. There'll be a ruck infringement in the free and a free kick rather. And it's going the way of Nash, so Nash will have the ball for the Hawks. He takes it and looks like he's going to go long and then just dinks the kick to centre half forward towards Newcomb. So again, they're waiting for the right target, Hawthorn, and Newcomb sends an absolute bullet pass inside 50 and Moore's on the end of it.
There's the dart. Absolutely.
That was a beautiful pass inside 50. And Dylan Moore was on the end of it and gets his chance now. Again, it's directly in front of goals for Hawthorn.
You can see the boys laughing. He was actually aiming for Watto, which was just over that part. But, hey, take it.
So Dylan Moore lets loose, and it is a beautiful-looking kick. That is dead straight from Moore. It's his second for the game. He kicked the first of the first. He's kicked the first of the second. Hawthorn are up by 33 points. 6.5 minutes have gone in this second term. They're 6-4-40, the Hawks, and the D's 1-1-7. Saturday afternoon footy on ABC Sport.
Well, you don't let the truth get in the way of a good story, Chatty. I think, maybe he was. I don't know. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I thought the ability of Connor Nash to change his mind mid-kick as well is what changed the whole thing, because everyone's like, oh, this is going long, it's going long. I'll sag back, find another one. Now we've got to be on edge again. So Jack Gunston leading up, and he's creating space and havoc down there, and it just allows Dylan Moore to drop into a little hole. Whether he was going to Watson or not, there was 2 players there that could have raffled it essentially. So great kick, great inside 50.
Let's go downstairs. Lex Pesce on the boundary.
I'm just keeping an eye on Jake Melksham. You have to think at some point Troy Chaplin pulls that lever just to try and get some goals.
He's been warming up for most of the game. I don't know whether there's any etiquette around when you're in the sub. It's too early to start warming up. But Jake Melksham's been skipping along the sideline for most of the contest thus far. So
I'd be racking the Ks up as much as I can now, so I don't have to do any after the game.
100%.
Three-quarter time down at Kardinia Park. It's North Melbourne by 6 points in the AFLW. The reigning premiers 20 to Geelong 14. 2 games to come in that competition. GWS and Essendon, Western Bulldogs, North Melbourne a little bit later on this afternoon. Hawks kick it forward, but Melbourne able to intercept. McVee, handball to May, handball to Salem. Worked that nicely, the 1-2. And then the sharp kick infield finds Sparrow, who's just defensive side of halfway for the D's. 1-1-7, Hawthorn 6-4-40. Joel Peterson, Lauren Borden with you at the MCG for ABC Sport. Chad Wingard and Brett Delidio, our All-Australian experts. Alex Pesce on the boundary, completing our broadcast team this afternoon. Big night of footy ahead. Adelaide and Collingwood is a genuine blockbuster. You'll hear it all here, ad-free, through the ABC. Continuing to run on out there is Howes on the southern side. Somewhat blue skies above now. The artificial light starting to take effect. Such is the changeable conditions this afternoon. Now they start the chain again, the Demons. McVee whips it across the defensive 50 to Turner.
And Turner marks Chol, goes and gets told to stand. And then Turner will look towards the broadcast wing of the MCG. He's able to find Cully, who can mark. So he's got the footy. He can look defensively, or he can go forward, and he looks like he'll load up on the kick and just go for distance. Plenty of players will surround the footy when it does drop. And it's Petty that goes up and takes the mark. Good grab from him. He swings the footy out to Fridge, who just fumbles the footy at the last second. It was pressure from Scrimshaw that caused him to drop it. Comes out to Nash. Scrimshaw gets the footy back from him. Hand pass to Impey, hand pass to Hardwick. And it's Hardwick who'll put it on his boot. It's a high, skying ball that'll spiral up. Just goes over the top of Newcombe. He can get it at the drop. Tries to push it away from him. Cully's there, though, for the Ds, and he can put the footy back inside for Melbourne. In he goes. No mark can be taken by Langford. And it's Fritsch who tries to come in there, chasing after it. D'Ambrosio comes in for the Hawks. He's doing his best. Then Petrarca picks up the footy, steals it, gets it towards Langford, who has a kick at goal. No. It would have been the impossible if he got that one, kicking as he was falling in the far right pocket. But just a behind for the Ds. They move to 1-2. Hawthorn 6-4. 10 minutes played in the second term. It's Hawthorn leading by 32.
Now waltz it outside the defensive 50. Battle to Moore. To Impey, who just gallivants his way up the southern wing. Spears the pass to Newcombe. Now the run of Jaff, setting things up at right half forward for Hawthorn. Kicks inside the 50. Lewis got it. He was in the wrestle with Tom McDonald. Used his brute strength and then his craft to clutch it as he fell to the turf. Mitch Lewis in the right forward pocket has a 25-metre snap. On the comeback trail from a long-term injury. Oh, he's kicked it with a wet sock. It's only got about 12 metres, and Salem's marked it on the goal line. Hasn't got the carry. He goes to Howes, and the D's can reload.
Out he goes towards left half back, where Jack goes up high. Oh. And is he getting the free kick? So he's gone up. He hasn't marked it. And in the end, he's getting the free kick against McDonald.
Shepherd, because he held his space.
Right.
There we go.
That's just not understanding the game, isn't it?
So Jath with the footy, he'll put it inside 50 now. At the front was McDonald, who just palms it down, looking for Nash, who couldn't take hold of it, has to tackle Pickett, who can move the footy out to Salem. Hand pass to Langdon, and he's got the footy to weave through his opponents in the back line, chip it out to centre wing, but Hardwick stepping back there and can intercept the footy for the Hawks.
Back to Scrimshaw. Top of the defensive 50. MRO update from last night. Nothing to report, so all clear for those that participated in the 2 contests last night on the match review front. Hawks build it up to the broadcast side now. D'Ambrosio, handball to Eamon, strolling through left half forward. Central kick, tall targets everywhere, and Turner went up among them for Melbourne, pulled it in, had a really good piece of it, not paid the mark. Sliding in was Sparrow, dispossessed Dia, got it to Gawn, handball out towards Salem, who didn't want to keep it in. And it'll be thrown back in left half forward, or left forward pocket, I should say, for Hawthorn. A kick to the punt road end here in this second turn. 6-4-40 to 1-2-8. 12 and a half minutes gone in the second term. Earlier today, GWS by 35 points over the Gold Coast, and Carlton big winners over Port Adelaide at Docklands. Cully at the stoppage, hands it off to Oliver. His handball turned over. Ginnivan D'Ambrosio, a scything kick to a central position. Pushed past it was McDonald. Lewis couldn't take it. And we'll have a ball up 25 metres out from the Hawks' goal.
Lewis has just shifted McDonald off the ball twice now. He's too strong for him.
I can't wait to see when he gets some more games under his belt.
Hawthorn ahead by 32. Chol can't quite pick it up. Cully's in there for the D's. Hand passes it to Pickett. Hand passes it to McDonald, who just can't pick up the footy cleanly. Gets a hand pass away in the end to Langdon. Hand passes it to Salem, who can clear the kick outside of defensive 50. It'll be coming straight back as Jack takes it. Hand passes it to Moore. Little chip kick forward towards McDonald. He wants to move the footy on quickly, and he stabs the pass to Gunston.
Tell you what, Loz, if you're a young forward wanting to watch, someone go about their business and their craft, Jack Gunston, his ability to read what's going on up the field and being on the move before the ball's even got into the hands of the next kicker, he's going 2 kicks ahead, and that's why he gets so much separation. He's always on the move.
So tighter than 45-degree angle from about 40 metres out. Gunston lets loose towards goal, kicks it to the near side. So that's 2-3 for Gunston so far in this match. It's the Hawthorn's lead just extending out to 33 points.
He's been busy, Jack Gunston, no doubt about that. Rivers brings it in for Melbourne and turns it over straight to Sicily. Sparrow wanted to dart away with the footy, but Sicily's paid the mark on the front point of the square. Just 9 irons the kick. It's an absolute layup looking for Connor McDonald. Couldn't take the mark. Ward goes in. Handball off to Moore. Kept it moving somehow. Dear to Gunston. Take 2, Jack. I'll do you one better. I'll take 3. Gunston with his 3rd. On the quick fire hand pass receive. Hooked it around the body. And Hawthorn are racing away with this one, out by 39 points. 7-5-47 to Melbourne 1-2-8. We're 14 and a half gone in the second quarter. On ABC Sport, your experts are Chad Wingard and Brett Delidio.
And it's amazing by Ward there. Ward and Moore both had the ball in hand while they were getting tackled. We're running towards goal, and they kept it live inside forward 50, and that allows Jack Gunston to obviously get on the end of it. But that fight through the tackle is so vital inside forward 50, and both, I suppose, smaller players in Ward and Moore just didn't give up the fight.
It's vital all over the ground, Chatty. Your ability 100%. To drive through and get it on the outside versus a quick rush kick just plays into opposition hands. The damn wall was about to break, though, wasn't it? It's 8-2 inside 50s at the moment. Yeah. They've done well to hold it up so far.
So Chol is in the ruck for the Hawks. Takes the footy, hand pass to Ward. He had Chandler chasing him, was still able to get a kick inside 50. It'll bobble its way in. Ginnivan taps it to his advantage, gets it, picks it up, hand passes it to McDonald, back outside the footy. McDonald will square up the footy. Chol is at the back and marks. He was standing at the back of 4 players, and it came through them and into his hands.
Yeah, it was clever from Ginnivan there just to knock that ball out of congestion into space. He got onto that loose one really quickly. Handball back to McDonald. I thought there might have been an easy layup kick for McDonald just in front of him, but saw the 2 players inside 450 and it just cleared the congestion and got over and landed onto Big Marbior Charles chest. Charles Royce.
Charles Royce steps over the paint of 50 from about 35 metres out, releases the kick. It's all the way off to the right-hand side, and he knew at the moment it left his boot. So just a minor score for the Hawks. Pushes the margin out to 40 points, though. We're only 16 minutes gone in the second term.
May brings it back into Rivers, who pumps it down the broadcast side, and guess who? Marbior! Making amends for the missed set shot, just floats in to elevate and take the mark. Back to the back point of the square on the broadcast side for Amon. Kicks to the other point of the centre square for Hardwick. Now a short infield kick to Impey, who's held up on the mark by Petty. Hawthorn by 40 points. 17 minutes gone, second term. Saturday footy on ABC Sport. Amon over the top for Ward. Marks. Plays on. Handball to Sicily, 55 metres from home. Kicks to full forward. Lewis in the pack again. He can't pull this one in. Oh, nervous moment for Salem. He was just strolling through the defensive goal square. Had them diving across his kick. It's hacked out of there by Turner. It'll bounce its way to Hardwick for Hawthorn. Right half forward. Pokes it back in. Ward had Oliver coming over the top. Picked up by Nash now for Hawthorn. Warple inside forward 50. Pickett goes to ground. He hasn't had his usual influence on the game. And now Langdon kicks a high footy outside the defensive 50. Impey floats in, so does Petty. Lands in the lap there of Hardwick, and now Fritsch. Is there a free kick off the footy there? No. Fritsch's handball forward only as far as Battle. And after all of that, the Hawks can just set up the field again.
And that's exactly what they do. Through Amon, who kicks it into the centre of the field. It'll be chopped off, though, by Rivers, who takes it. Hand passes it to Chandler, running right through the centre of the MCG. Hits Christian Petrarca on the chest. He marks. He plays on. Hand passes it to Oliver, who dribbles it through for a goal. It was a little risky there from Clayton Oliver. It almost looked like it might have gone through the other side and he missed it. And it might have all been a fumble from the Ds, but it is a goal. And it's Melbourne's second. It's their first goal since the 9-minute mark of the first term when Harrison Petty put them on the board for the first time. They moved to 2-2-14. It's Hawthorn, though, holding sway. 7-6-48, 18 minutes played in the second term. It's Saturday afternoon footy on ABC Sport.
It's funny how footy rewards you. Clayton Oliver's the one who got a spoiling on Dylan Moore down to the defensive 50 and then works all the way up the ground to then get a lick of the ice cream and knock one through from not a difficult check. He made him probably look a little bit harder than he needed to, Chatty, but that left-hand handball's pretty handy too from Christian Petrarca. Doesn't have to break stride right across with pressure on, so it's good reward for effort, but I think it was more a mistake from Hawthorn that allowed that goal in other than good play from Melbourne.
So the D's get just their second of the game. And they get the clearance at the restart to go with it. And it's those two again. Petrarca to Oliver. High kick inside the forward 50. Petty comes charging out. Brings it down for Chandler. Handball off to Gawn at the top of the 50. Now to Petrarca, who eyes the sticks from 52 and kicks an absolute mung out of bounds on the full. And I don't know whether Christian Petrarca had lunch, because he looked pretty hungry then.
That's good.
That's not particularly close. And it'll be brought back in from fullback for the Hawks.
One-step shot from 55.
Which is strange because he just gave a handball from 30 out, so it was uncharacteristic after what he just did before, the play before.
So Hardwick's kick comes out of defence and Gawn puts two hands to it. Wasn't the mark, but was able to claim it, get it out towards centre wing. It's stolen, centre half forward rather. It comes to Sharp. He takes the ball. He'll just have a kick at the goal for the Ds himself, and it bounces once before going through for a behind. So they got the ball back there and tried to hold on to it, the Ds, but just another minor score for them. 2-3-15 playing the Hawks. 7-6-48, just ticked into extra time in the second quarter.
Sicily lopes in from fullback, kicks out wide, and Jack goes up to mark. Wasn't paid. Rivers will come away with it for the Ds. Kicks them inside the forward 50. Sicily stands under the footy. Chasing it there is Scrimshaw, paddling it out in front of himself. Langford fights for it. Impressive first-year player for the Ds. Now Battle. Now the first-year Hawk. Handball off to Sicily, who was under all kinds of pressure. Bowie and Viney converged upon him and brought him down in the right forward pocket. Not much James Sicily could have done there. D's into attack. They trail by 33 points. 21 gone second term. It goes up. It comes down. Meek and Petty have a bit of a shove. Two country lads opposed to one another in the ruck at the moment. Warple with a little feint to get around Chandler was really neat. Handed it off to Nash, whose kick was slightly less neat. The only person who was bothering with that was the security guard sat on the fence, out of bounds on the full, and Rivers will bring it back in for the Ds.
Oh, that was out of bounds.
He's taken he's been given it back. So the umpire's given Gawn another chance.
So he was inside the field of play and handballed it to Rivers, who was outside.
Like that Jeremy Cameron one when he got the handball and had that snap.
The umpire's given Gawn the ball back, though. He holds it and just puts it on his boot to get distance inside forward 50. Cully came up and flicked it up on his hand to go high. Oliver just punched it away. Comes back to Nash, who just wanted to get it off his hands, and hand passes it across to Moore. He puts it towards Chol. Again, it's a good kick from the Hawks. Chol running onto it, marks back edge at the centre square, plays on and hand passes it right through the centre of the field to Ward, who wants to use hands and go to Moore, who flicks it out wide towards Hardwick. They're now on the southern wing of the MCG. Inside 50, the kick goes. Lewis did well to use his body to move the back. Doesn't take the mark. It gets to Deer, who hand passes it to Lewis. Close to the goal. Salem has it. Hand passes to McVee. Over the goal line. Not quite. He's still got it. But McVee just stutters with the ball. Hand pass to Salem again. His kick is dangerous. Out the front was Watson, was able to bring it down. Comes outside of 50 towards Sharp, and he'll receive the free kick. So it'll be Harry Sharp's ball just at the top of the defensive 50 for the Ds.
I got one for you, Lids.
Yeah.
Just then, when the ball's near the goal line, I'm still, as a pass player, don't understand when you can take it through and when you can't. I reckon that's the one rule. I would be so nervous getting the ball anywhere near the goal line.
Yeah.
Do you feel comfortable? You know what you're doing there?
Yeah, inside the goal square with the pressure, you can walk it through.
But it's almost got to be obvious pressure.
It's got to be obvious
Because
pressure.
just then, like, could he have just taken it
No, if
over?
you had taken that through, you're leaving yourself open.
And then half the problem is obvious to whom.
Yeah. And that's a great point, Joel, because it's common sense is not always that common, is it?
Exactly. Hawks have got a defensive 50. Brett Delidio, Chad Wingard, your experts on ABC Sport. Max Pesce downstairs. Lauren Borden, Joel Peterson calling the footy for you. Here's Jack Ginnivan in the centre circles at the MCG. Pumps the kick inside the forward 50. And you only need one name to know who's back there. It is Max, who stands and raises his arms out above his head and pulls the mark in defensively for the D's. Comes short to May. And now to Oliver, who's looking infield. Immediately his eyes went infield to try and move this kick on. He goes to Howes. 7-6-48 the Hawks, 2-3-15 the D's. As they continue to build the footy up with some patience, Melbourne. Ball now in the hands of Bowie.
So Bowie still waits and then just chooses to flare it very far out wide to left half back where Turner will mark for the D's and chips it forward towards Langdon, and then he goes backwards towards Howes. So they haven't moved the footy too far here, the D's. I'm unsure of where to go next. It's a darting kick to centre wing. The target was Sparrows, couldn't take the mark. He runs it and gets the footy in the end as well. Tried to hand pass it towards Salem. Ginnivan was there for the D's. Hand pass to Jaff. Hand pass back to Moru. Hand pass to Impey. He was tackled, dispossessed of the footy, and Pickett can pounce on the footy for the D's. Takes it and kicks it right down to Van Rooyen. It was a low kick. He couldn't take the mark. He had Battle right beside him, and the ball will go out of bounds for a boundary throw-in. Nearly at centre wing on the outer side of the ground. It's Hawthorn leading by 33 points. They kicked the first 2 goals of the second term before Clayton Oliver got one back for the D's.
Pickett just the 4 touches today. Hardly sighted him.
Yep, he's been very quiet. No influence on the contest for Cozzy. Fight for the footy at the stoppage. Pickett was involved in there but didn't get a hand to it. Kick forward for the Hawks through the hands of Turner. Ends up with Watson. Kicks to the pocket for Gunston, who made the space on Howes, but punches the hands together in frustration as the ball slides out of play. It'll be tossed back in right forward pocket for the Hawks at the punt road end of the ground. 0437 774 774 to send Lids or Chad a question for half-time. Of course, Adelaide Collingwood coming up tonight. We'll keep you across the action in the AFLW, the NRLW and National Rugby League as well. Hawks with a clearing kick at the stoppage. Or Sharp the fumble when he couldn't afford to. Picked up by Ginnivan. Handball to Chol, who's tried to kick the cover off it. What are you doing, Marbior? 15 metres out in the left forward pocket. He tried to kick it to Collingwood, and he's just snuck it in for a minor score. 7-7-49 to 2-3-15. And you take the good with the bad when it comes to the Charles-Royce.
Don't you ever?
Not sure how that snuck through for a behind.
That wasn't a Charles-Royce. That was more like a XR6 Falcon or something like that.
Bill's hoist.
Stephen May now takes the kick and goes out. Hardwick coming through and spoils it out in front of Rivers. He gets some high fives from his teammates for a throw-in now at centre half forward for the Hawks.
Maybe that's one for the text line. 0437 774 774. The dichotomy of Marbior Chol. The Charles-Royce and the what is the other thing.
This is very deep here. Hawthorn ahead by 34 points. Viney will take the footy. Hand passes out towards Pickett, who just kicks it along the boundary line, and it'll be insufficient intent, even though it was a hacking kick.
Very stiff.
Went about 10 metres ahead of him. It wasn't a very good kick at the best of times, but it's Warple who wins the free kick. Just chips it out towards Moore, not 15. Has to take his kick, which will go. It was touched off the boot. Oh, it was out of bounds on the full.
Yeah, that's justice.
That's justice.
Footy gods. That's footy gods.
Yeah, that ball don't lie. Here's Viney. Kicks down the line. Bill Barris came in, clunked into Hardwick on the way through. Warple's been good this afternoon. Handball as he was sort of moving backwards, flicked it over his head to Ward. Impey off a step, awkward kick. Viney charges it down. And from one Goulburn Valley lad to another. Jack Viney, one of a couple of Echuca products out there. Goes back to May, of course, from Palmerston up in the Northern Territory, celebrating game number 250 today, Stephen May. 15th year in the AFL, 126th of those at Melbourne. Turned it over straight to Dylan Moore. He cuts the kick-in board to McDonald. Hawks are open to the southern side. McDonald goes a little bit more direct than that, looking for Deer. Langdon at ground level. May pushed off it, picked up by Deer. Oh, it's a terrific smother. Getting back from Howes. Desperate lunge. He's able to save a goal. Might have been Turner, in fact, who did the hard work. And Pickett's kick outside the defensive 50 for the D's. Rolls its way in front of Petrarca. Just played soccer with it in the end. Tried to dribble it forward. And they dive on top of it in the centre square. And we will have a ball up just advanced of halfway for Melbourne. And again, that push and shove is involved. And you don't really have to say that James Sicily's in there. If there's push and shove on the ground, he will be in there. He was on that occasion. Hardwick is going at it. Sicily's having words to Viney. Harry Petty's involved. Bowie and Fritsch as well. Meanwhile, Luke Bruce is all business. He's the sub. He's got the warm-up vest and he's just striding across the centre square, not interested in the fight whatsoever. And we get to three-quarter time.
Free kick.
And there is a free kick. Carl Amon just came charging outside that pack. So there's been a free kick paid out of all this.
That was bizarre. I thought it was like a top-up running. Like,
Or that
he just sprinted. I was like, oh,
or something had broken out in the goal square and there's two players sort of biffing on and we didn't see it or something. And so here's Harry Petty.
No chance.
Game 100, he'll need the Mark Pitternet special. Luke Bruce is on the ground illegally at the moment. That's how well we're going. And Petty's kicked it 40 metres, and now the push and shove's on between Giveman and Petty. Luke Bruce sprinted across the ground because he realised, oh, gee, they're still playing here and I'm on the field. So that was a bizarre end to this first half here at the MCG. Melbourne 2-3-15, their lowest first half score since 2020, of course, that COVID-shortened season. Hawthorn 7-7-49. Melbourne's previous lowest first half score this season was 2-5 against Essendon earlier in the year. The Hawks have all the running. Jack Gunston has 3 goals. Dylan Moore has 2, 1 in each term. Nick Watson has 1. Cal Shadir has 1. For Melbourne, the goals to Harry Petty in the opening term and Clayton Oliver in the second. Earlier today, Carlton by 54 points over Port Adelaide, GWS by 35 over the Gold Coast Suns. It is going to be North Melbourne who will start their premiership defence in the AFLW with a win over Geelong. Handful of seconds left and they lead by 4 goals. 2 more games to come in the W this afternoon. We will keep you across them. But for now, let's get the thoughts of our experts here at halftime at the MCG. It is the Hawks by 34 points. All Australians, Chad Wingard and Brett Delidio.
Yeah, it's pretty dominant performance so far from Hawthorn. They haven't been tested a hell of a lot, I don't think, Chatty. Their ability right across the board, they've controlled possession, they're plus, 25, 30 odd in that one. They're up in the clearances, 20 to 15. The inside 50s, they're up by 10. The marks is the one that's concerning for me. They're plus 25 in those. And the inability of Melbourne to deny them those uncontested marks. They haven't all been contested marks. They've been, just that ability to spread and control the footy and make Melbourne defend, which is obviously when you've got a big-bodied midfield, you're not wanting to spread and try and defend too hard. You want a contest, you want it in tight where you can use your bulk and your size to your own advantage. But when you're on the outside and running and trying to compete in that sense, it makes it pretty hard. But they've controlled this game, Hawthorn, so far. It's a bit messy that quarter, wasn't it? The rain played a bit of a part in that, but I think we're hopefully, they could have banged on a couple more goals. We've had a few people off the text of the Charles Royce or the Cholden Barina. I don't mind that one. I think that's pretty handy. But yep. It's, there's plenty more that Hawthorn have got to offer, I think, but haven't been as clean as what they probably would have liked.
Yeah, and what I love from Hawthorn, if you're a Hawthorn fan watching this game, is the hit-outs are 25 to 10 going Melbourne's way, so they're plus 15. But Hawthorn mids are getting it done. They're plus 5 in clearances, and that's with, Melbourne bringing an extra to the stoppage. So that's probably one positive, I think, amongst the plenty of Hawthorn positives to come out of the half. Like you said, it's just they're not kicking straight. They've had 12 marks inside forward 50, which is super impressive. Like I said, we try and aim for that for a whole game. But for me, their just work rate's been great. All of Melbourne's scores are basically on Hawthorn's turnovers. Just their own unpressured kicks. Like Kyle Amon, who's kicking, I think, at 90%. The one kick he missed, it turns into a goal against. I mean, he's been amazing for him. And the one player that I love that's obviously hasn't had his best year, but he's starting to come into his own, is Dylan Moore.
Yeah.
He's had 20 disposals and 2 goals at the half. I mean, he's been battling through a little bit of injury concerns early on with his shoulder, but he looks like he's back to his best. You talk about the high half forwards. He's playing a bit more on ball today, but he's been super impressive.
His work rate has been really impressive, up and back. And he's that link player, but we may mention that before the game, didn't we? And Moore, and then they've got also, who am I looking at? Connor McDonald, Jack Ginnivan, an Impey off half back, his ability to run, but then you've got Amon on the wing,
CJ,
D'Ambrosio, CJ on the wing. Their ability to spread the ground, make it really big, it opens it up, so their ability then to come back through the middle, it allows those bigger body guys in Newcombe and Warple just to control that centre of the ground.
Yeah, and it's amazing how Hawthorn have built their list. And you think about how Melbourne built theirs. It's all contested, big-bodied players, and it got them, obviously, to the flag, and that was the way that they built their list. But Hawthorn has really built their list from probably 3 or 4 years ago when Sammy Mitchell came in, with running ability. And everyone that they've drafted was about their endurance, about their power, their speed, and everyone on the field today, and ability to kick, which is what they've learned over time. But what they've drafted and what they've built is pretty impressive so far.
It pays dividends on a day like today. Chad Wingard, Brett Delidio, your experts on ABC Sport. We, of course, have 2 games in the book. Carlton winners in one of those. We'll hear from Sam Walsh very soon as well. He caught up with our own Ray Chamberlain post-game after their big win over Port Adelaide. So that is coming very shortly. We'll have the updates from around the world of sport for you as well. It's halftime here at the MCG. It is Hawthorn 7-7-49. Well, they need to win, and they are virtually assured of a spot in September. The Demons trying to pay Party Poopers a 2-3-15, their lowest first half scoring-wise since 2020. Still plenty more to play out at the MCG ahead of a big night of footy here on ABC Sports. Stick with us. The reaction from Carlton's win over Port Adelaide to come very, very soon. Hawks by 34 at the half. This is Saturday Footy on ABC Sport.
ABC News, I'm Eliza Getzi. Uncertainty surrounds the way forward to a peace deal in Ukraine after the Alaska meeting between US President Donald Trump and his Russian counterpart, Vladimir Putin. Larry Buttrose reports.
Mr. Trump has consistently touted himself as a peacemaker and deal maker, but seems to have left Alaska with little more than hope of an end to the conflict. He told reporters after the meeting there's no agreement as yet, saying there's no deal until there is a deal. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is yet to comment, but Mr. Trump says it's now up to his country.
Pretty close to it, yeah. Now look, Ukraine has to agree to it. Maybe they'll say no.
For his part, Mr. Putin said he's sincerely interested in ending the 3-year-long war.
Meanwhile, Russia and Ukraine continue to exchange airstrikes. The Ukrainian military says it shot down or jammed more than 60 of the 85 drones fired by Russia overnight. It failed to intercept a ballistic missile. Several regions were targeted with no reports of casualties, and Russia says it destroyed nearly 30 Ukrainian drones. Authorities in Pakistan have warned of more possible flash floods today after torrential monsoon rain and landslides swept through parts of the northwest of the country. More than 300 people were killed on Friday, the deadliest day of the monsoon so far, as Azadeh Mashiri reports from Islamabad with the BBC.
Relief efforts are being carried out across the worst-hit provinces, and officials have said there are still people missing. In Khyber Pakhtunkhwa's mountainous border with Afghanistan, a helicopter carrying aid crashed. All 5 crew members, including 2 pilots, were killed. The Chief Minister has announced the national flag will be flown at half-mast across the province. It's been the deadliest 24 hours Pakistan has suffered from this year's monsoon season. Disaster authorities are now surveying the damage and warning more flash floods could come in the days ahead.
Back home, arrests have been made after a clash at a rally in Melbourne's CBD today, which left 3 police officers with minor injuries. Here's Nate Woodall.
Police arrested 4 people, including a 21-year-old man who allegedly hit an officer with an umbrella during a scuffle with a group of counter-protesters this morning. Police set up barriers and deployed pepper spray to keep a group of about 80 counter-protesters separated from a Women Will Speak rally held by Women's Voices Australia, which describes itself on social media as working to strengthen sex-based rights. The counter-protesters were seen waving transgender pride flags as they marched through the CBD. 2 people were also arrested for allegedly possessing flares, and another man was arrested for allegedly refusing to move on.
Police are investigating after a man's body was found by a river in central Queensland today. Officers were called to the Fitzroy River at the Rockhampton suburb of Depot Hill around midday, and a crime scene remains in place there. A wintry blast across Australia's southeast is forecast to continue over the weekend and into next week, delivering more rain and even small hail and snow to elevated regions. A cold front swept onto the southern coastline yesterday, and with a second expected to hit tomorrow, southeast states can expect an extended spell of temperatures as much as 5 below average. Senior meteorologist Angus Hines says snow is forecast for parts of New South Wales, Victoria, Tasmania and even South Australians could see rare light snowfall in the Mount Lofty and southern Flinders Ranges.
The snow could fall to fairly low levels, especially across Tasmania, down around 400 metres. And because of that low snow level, we have issued road weather alerts and bush walkers alerts, because anyone walking up in those mountains or even driving across those higher roads and alpine passes does need to be aware there could be a few snow flurries around.
And Australian cricket legend Bob Simpson has died at the age of 89. ABC Sports' Erin Masika-Vetera has more.
Bob Simpson made his Test debut in 1957 against South Africa, and by the end of his career, 21 years later, had amassed almost 5,000 Test runs at an average of 46.81. Opening the batting alongside Bill Lawry, his first Test century came in 1964 against England at Old Trafford, and he went on to ultimately score 311 runs in the same innings. As a coach, Simpson led a revival of the Australian team's success, winning the 1987 World Cup and 4 straight Ashes series before leading the side to a famous victory against the West Indies in the Caribbean in 1995. Cricket Australia chair Mike Baird has described Simpson as one of the greats of Australian cricket.
And in AFL, Carlton's Harry Mackay has kicked a career-high 7 goals to guide the Blues to a 54-point win over Port Adelaide. This is ABC News.
On the ABC Listen app, stream a wide range of free audiobooks, like from Leanne Moriarty, James Patterson, Tim Winton and Kate Morton. No catch, just press play. Find free audiobooks on the ABC Listen app.
This is the 2025 AFL Premiership season on ABC Sport.
Newcombe. So again, they're waiting for the right target, Hawthorn, and Newcombe sends an absolute bullet pass inside 50, and Moore's on the end of it.
Yeah, the dart, absolutely.
You can see the boys laughing. He was actually aiming for Watto, which was just over that part. But hey, take it.
So Dylan Moore lets loose, and it is a beautiful looking kick. That is dead straight from Moore. That's his second for the game. He kicked the first to the first. He's kicked the first to the second.
Sicily's paid the mark on the front point of the square. Just 9 irons the kick. It's an absolute layup looking for Connor McDonald. Couldn't take the mark. Ward goes in. Handball off to Moore. Kept it moving somehow. Dear to Gunston. Take 2, Jack. I'll do you one better. I'll take 3. Gunston with his third. On the quick fire hand pass receive. Hooked it around the body. And Hawthorn racing away with this one, out by 39 points.
Amon, who kicks it into the centre of the field, will be chopped off though by Rivers, who takes it, hand passes it to Chandler, running right through the centre of the MCG, hits Christian Petrarca on the chest, he marks, he plays on, hand passes it to Oliver, who dribbles it through for a goal.
This is ABC Sports coverage of the AFL.
On your radio.
ABC Sport Digital.
And on the ABC Listen app.
Half-time at the MCG, it is Hawthorn well in control over Melbourne. 7-7-49 to 2-3-15. Joel Peterson, Lauren Borden calling it for you. All Australians, Chad Wingard, Brett Delidio, your experts. Alex Pesce is on the boundary earlier today. GWS too good for the Gold Coast Suns. And over the road at Docklands, it was Carlton 118 defeating Port Adelaide 64. So another heavy loss in what's been a pretty torrid season for Port Adelaide. A 54-point defeat, 7 goals for big Harry Mackay. It's good to see the former Coleman medalist back in some form. And Razor Ray Chamberlain, as part of the ABC Sport team, caught up with one of the Blues stars post-game.
Well, we're down in the victorious Carlton Football Club rooms, and I'm very fortunate to have a fellow number 18, Sam Walsh, who's here with me today. Sam, despite not racking up the wins over the last month, there's been plenty of things to look at that have really been glass half full. It must be wonderful, though, to get the W and really put a side away.
Yeah, I reckon you're right, Azer. The glass half full's probably come from quarters of footy, but today felt like it was pretty well a full performance. Probably fell away a little bit in that last 10, but I reckon the boys were probably pretty cooked.
It's a brutal home and away season, 6 months long, and, you know, I don't need to tell you about injuries. Carlton have had more than their fair share this year, but if we stay on a glass half full theme, which I like to approach my footy with, mate, it's given opportunity and rise to young blokes. I've written down a few names here, right? So we go through Cooper Lord, Hudson O'Keefe, Ashton Moyer, Flynn Young and co. Tell me, like as a seasoned player, a leader of the club, tell me what those guys are bringing to the group.
Yeah, you're spot on, and I've been watching from the stands the past 2 months, and even though it's been a bit of a hard time for our club, there's a lot of those guys that you mentioned have stood up, and it's pretty good testament to their character, because since they've came in, you can sense they've worked hard, and I think you can nearly tell by the first couple of weeks what attitude guys have got, and I've always thought that those boys are competitive but enjoy their footy too. So going forward, it's really positive, and in and around that, as the older players in our group, we've got to give them the confidence, and I think we're able to do that today by having an impact on the game and bringing them into it.
Well, there's no doubt about that, mate. My next question was simply that. Like at the other end, we've got yourself, TDK, Cripper, Georgie Hewitt in at the coalface. Like you smoked them at centre bounce, you bashed them up at clearance, to be fair, and then doing the business there at the other end of the ground, we see Big H, and he has a career best result with 7 goals. Tell me, like, how much joy as a teammate seeing the big fella bang through 7 today? What is that like for you?
Oh, mate, it was so good, and the boys went over to Port probably 2 months ago now, and we got touched up a bit. So to be able to respond, and whenever you play a team twice in the year, you don't want to let them have 2 wins on that ledger. So I thought the way Harry's trained the past couple of months has set up his game, and today I thought he was phenomenal. Finished his work, but geez, he just had a lot of presence at the moment. So he's the king of the table tennis table at the club, and he's acting like he's got the table tennis table out there today, the way he's strutting around. So
old Forrest Gump.
Yeah, absolutely. He's hard to beat.
Well, look, there's always a heap of noise when it comes to Carlton. That's one thing I learned moving from a non-footballing state. I grew up in Canberra, you move to Melbourne, and it doesn't matter whether it's good, bad or indifferent. There's always a lot of noise with Carlton. Tell me, that's from external, yeah? Internally, inside the 4 walls, club backs the coach, locks him in. Tell me how that impacts the group.
Yeah, I think, to be honest, we've probably got to learn the lesson of to find ways to block out a lot of that stuff, but then we've still got a lot of great positive supporters, so embrace them too, and that's a fine balance. But if you're playing for a big club, you're just going to have to be mature, the way you play, the way you train, the way you prepare, because you've got to take that as an advantage. And even though at times it might get tough with a bit of that outside noise, there's not many clubs that get to play in front of an average of 40 to 50,000 each week. So you've got to look at it from that perspective, I reckon.
Glass half full, mate. Now, we head into the final home round game of the home and away season. It'll be the last game for the year. You take on the arch enemy, the nemesis in Essendon at the MCG. You must be looking forward to trying to end the season with another W at the home of footy.
Exactly right. Yeah, it's we want to finish with a bit of momentum, take it into next year. And I watched a bit of the Essendon game last night and showed some good intensity. So we've got a 5-day break and roll the sleeves up and go again. And I feel like if we play footy like that, you naturally get energy anyway. So I'm looking forward to it.
Sam, as a former member of the number 18 club, it filled me with great joy seeing you strut your stuff today. You killed it. Congratulations on the victory, mate, and onwards and upwards into next year.
Thanks, mate. Not former. You were doing the women's the other day. All the boys were getting around you from the balcony. So it's good to see the number 18 run around with a bit of pace, mate.
It was great to get the feedback. Cheers, Sammy.
Sam Walsh with Ray Chamberlain there. The Blues, yeah, they're certainly happy after a win on Thursday for their AFLW side. They got a big win against Port Adelaide earlier today at Docklands. 7 goals for Harry Mackay in that game and 4 goals for young Harry Rouston in the GWS win over the Gold Coast Suns. If you had have said, Lids, that GWS were going to beat the Suns by 35 points and Rouston and Grzyzewski would kick 7 goals between them, I reckon you would have had a fairly busy bingo card.
Yes, you would have said who? No discredit to either of those 2 young boys, but you would have thought if Dimmer was planning for his matchups, those aren't the 2 boys that are going to trouble you the most, are they? But credit to Adam Kingsley and to those boys in their ability to get the job done and kick a winning score for their side. But geez, they can look shaky, can't they, Gold Coast? They do their best to make you question them, that's for sure.
I was about to say, every time I think, this is their time, this is their year, they look good, top 4 finish, top 8 finally, finals debut, and then they put up a display like this. It's just bizarre.
Kind of the antithesis of Brisbane. Brisbane win when they have to, and Gold Coast just can't find a way to do it a lot of the time. In the AFLW earlier, North Melbourne by 5 kicks over the Cats. So 8-3-51 for the defending premiers to 3-3-21. Blaheen Bogue, the Irish woman, kicked 2 for North. So did Kate Shearlaw. Julia Crockett-Grills kicked 2 for the Cats. GWS and Essendon just underway in the nation's capital. Tanya Evans kicked the first for the Giants, and it looks as though Daria Bannister has just kicked the second for the Bombers. So goal apiece in that. The Bulldogs in Melbourne later tonight in the W. And then, of course, in the AFL, Adelaide and Collingwood is where we are sending you not long after here. So we'll do a quick wrap here, get you hopefully the winning song, and then get you smartly to the Adelaide Oval for as much of the build-up as we can before a genuine blockbuster. The
Chatty's
Crows and the Magpies. And that is a sharp handball from Brett Delidio to start us off in the second half here on ABC Sport. Hawks by 34. Here's Lauren Borden.
And it's finals ramifications in this game as well, as Hawthorn just looks to secure their spot in the top 8. Ward got a hand pass away, chopped off by Cully, and it's an inside 50 early for the Ds. Petty's there, taps it down towards Fritsch, runs into a brick wall of battle, can't get it past him. Again, it's the Hawks' defence that emerged. Sicily, hand pass to D'Ambrosio, hand passes it across to Hardwick, left half back, will put it on his boot and get it all the way down the southern wing. Chol was at the back, couldn't take the mark. Bowie steps in, hand passes it with Salem and shares it, gets it back, kicks it down the line towards Cully, who just has to push it away to any advantage. Works for Bowie, who can move it along towards Sparrow. It's very close to the boundary line here. Sicily steals it and can keep it in. The Hawks do well to hold it by hands until it gets to Ward. Salem's got it in front of Ward. Ward wanted it to be a stoppage. Salem picks it up from in front of Ward's head and then puts it inside 50 for the Ds. Hand pass towards Petty. Hand pass to Chandler. He'll kick it towards goal. One bounce and it's through. That was very opportunistic from Salem to realise it was play on, take the footy, and then they move it into the forward line. It's a very early goal in the third term for the Ds, who struggled throughout the match, but they get one back here. 3-3-21, Hawthorn 7-7-49. It's 28 points the Hawks lead, and just a minute and 20 seconds have been played in the opening term.
I'm going to be on watch here, Chatty, for the next couple of quarters on how many times Hawthorn handball to a teammate who gets immediately tackled. They do it so often, and I know that's an ability then to fight through it, and it can be one of their biggest strengths, but I feel like at times they put their teammates and their own teammates under pressure by that extra handball where they could have either gone longer or kicked.
Yeah, I'll tell you what.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I agree with you. It's been such a bizarre start. I mean, the players want to get this game done as well. They're at about 40 seconds earlier. We thought you were going to touch on that. But obviously Hawthorn didn't come prepared because that was a fast start by Melbourne then.
Great centre clearance from Newcomb at the restart, who just went careening, almost got the speed wobbles as he tried to handball it over his head back into the mess, and then Bowie tackled Ward and wins a free kick back for Melbourne. Handball off to Pickett, rarely seen so far, off the back edge of the square, kicks to Fritsch, who has another one go through his hands. He just hasn't had the mitts on tonight, Bailey Fritsch, or this afternoon. Battle wraps up Petty as the ball spills to the turf, and we'll have it tossed up at the top of the 50 here for the Ds, kicking to the punt road end in this third term. Fighting for it is Eamon. It's all Melbourne numbers around the ball. Petrarca at right half forward, right on the edge of the 50. Fritsch just daps a little dribbler inside the arc. Eamon did well to trap it. Got it out to Impey. Impey's kick outside the defensive 50, looking for Watson, picked up by Ginnivan. Terrific kick, and now they burst away. Newcomb through the middle for Hawthorn. He does not have a number near him. He handballed over the top of 3 Melbourne players to get it back to Jaff. Jaff kicks inside the forward 50 to Gunston, who makes the running and marks 45 metres out. He's had 2 shots from here already. He hasn't converted either of them. This time he looks like he might be going back with some intent.
Who's the young player is that Howes that's manning him at the moment? They made the swap, obviously. He just needs to play the footy, though. He went to watch Gunston and see what he was doing versus just going towards the footy. It was an easy spoil if he had of.
It is Blake Howes, lids. So here's Jack Gunston from right on the 50. Sinks the slipper into it, and it is sublime. 4 goals for Jack Gunston. With 57 for the season, he's now only 1 away from equalling his career best in any year. What a campaign the veteran is putting together. Hawthorn get the first of the second half. 8-7-55, 3-3-21 Melbourne. Before the thoughts of Brett Delidio and Chad Wingard. Let's go downstairs. Lex Pesha.
The Demons have made their sub, so Jake Melksham finally comes into the action. It's tactical. Tom McDonald is out.
And just to go back on that again, Chatty, just watching the behind the goals vision on our screens, Blake Howes, just play the footy, but don't go after, don't caravan Jack Gunston because he's had all these marks inside forward 50 and wait for the body contact and whatever else. Play the footy, go after it and make the big spoil yourself. As soon as you start caravanning and trying to be reactive, the forward will always win out.
So it's back in the middle now, and it's Gawn who tries to get the tap out towards Petrarca. Again, he taps it to himself and kicks off the ground to Bowie. He moves it to Salem. Hand pass across to Turner, who hand passes it to Viney. Puts it out wide towards Chandler. Hits him on the half volley. He can't mark. Langford comes in to take the footy. He's tackled by McDonald and Impey, and it's just a little push on Impey as he gets back up from Langford. And there'll be a ball up in front of the Hawthorn bench. So Luke Bruce still sitting there as the sub, but as Lex said, Jake Melkham's now on for Tom McDonald as the kick comes down the line. It's easily chopped off at half-back by McVie, who takes the mark and just chips it towards Langdon.
I reckon Reece Conker's happy that Jake Melkham's on Loz because he doesn't have to warm up with him anymore.
Yeah, you're right. He's been warming up permanently across the last two quarters. That's what you've got to do. You've got to remind the coach you exist. This kick comes down the line. It'll be a throw in front of the Melbourne bench where Melksham was doing all those warm-ups. Bruce, of course, very good at being the sub as well. It's the 5th time he's started in that position this season.
He's about to be injected too, it looks like.
Absolutely it is. Lex will be all over that and bring us that news shortly. Meek with 2 hands wins it down. Sharp was taken high by Nash. Free kick to Melbourne. In fact, it's going to Oliver, who was held without the footy. So take your pick. They raffle the frees. Oliver, low kick inside the arc of Van Rooyen, and it hit his right bicep instead of hitting his chest, and he couldn't pull it in. Spills down to Battle, 30 metres out. Gee, the look-away handball. Scrimshaw has a bit of a fumble. He's still got time to mop it up. So from 24 to 14 to 10, aim on. They work it out sequentially. And now to Moore as Luke Bruce does come into the game. This kick might end up with him. McDonald goes down the line looking for Lewis. Punches it into the middle of the ground. Picked up there by Langdon. Handball off to Bowie. And now into the middle for Viney. Let's go downstairs to Lex quickly.
It is Nick Watson who's coming off. I think it's tactical. Luke Bruce comes into the action for the Hawthorn.
Rivers straight inside 50 towards Pickett. Went to juggle the mark, lost it, tried to gather it on the turf, could push it enough to get to Chandler. He can kick it right across the face of goal. And it's out of bounds on the full. And it'll be a Hawthorn free. So no score there for the D's. It's Hawthorn's lead staying at 34 points. A goal apiece to either side in this third term.
Pretty quiet, Nick Watson. Pretty easy decision, that one, I would imagine. Just the 3 disposals.
So here comes Bruce, the sub, right into the action, gets the footy at the front of the pack, hand pass across to D'Ambrosio, who puts the ball out long. He goes over the top of his ruck in Meek, and it's Bowie who can sit back and take the footy easily for Melbourne. Just chip forward towards Langdon. It's a high free against Ginnivan, so we march 50 metres forward, Langdon, and then get the free. That'll get him to about 60 metres out from Melbourne's goal.
Was that like standing over the mark? Is that what it was?
Tapped above his shoulder, the umpire, which was...
I think that doesn't give you a 50.
So Langdon now 60 metres out from goal, kicks to a pack inside 50. It falls down to Oliver. He hand passes it almost onto his foot. Kicks it, but it's Warple there to gather it. Can hand pass to Impey, and he just sends a long ball out almost to centre wing.
As far as he can. He'll come back in, though. Gawn has latched onto it. 75 metres out. That high ball drop. Pokes into the pocket. Cully comes over the top. Can't take the mark. Battling with D'Ambrosio. Flicked on by Impey for the Hawks outside the defensive 50. Now May for Melbourne. He's going to send it back the other way to Van Rooyen. Right foot kick, central spot. Melksham ran under it, was shoved under it by Barras. Coming up with a battle. Pickett lays the tackle. Played with it around at his feet. And now Amon, the sure hands of Carl Amon for Hawthorn. He wobbles the kick outside the defensive 50, but the D's have set up the red and blue wall. Bowie now stabs it into the pocket, looking for Cully. He can't mark. Again, great defensive pressure from the Hawks. It was Impey who got back there to spoil it out of play. And we'll have the boundary throw in right forward pocket. D's into attack and trailing by 34.
Really good execution there, running back into someone else's space and watching where their hands are and being able to execute the spoil without impeding. Well done, Jarman Impey.
In comes Van Rooyen with front position, pushes it down, but it's the Hawks that will emerge. Barris could just get a little dinky kick away that'll bobble its way outside a defensive 50. Bowie's there to collect again for the Ds. Hand pass to Sharp, getting tackled, dispossessed of the footy, holding the ball. Intent from Massimo D'Ambrosio wins out. And he wins the free kick for the brown and gold. Chips it up towards Jarman Impey. It was impressive last week against Collingwood. Takes the ball and just moves it slightly inboard towards Nash. And so Nash is happy to hold on to the footy with his side leading by 34 points and calling for his teammates to come towards him. And then he just goes right down the wing where everyone will come and try and meet the ball. It's Sparrow who gets there first, taps it down, but it's again the Hawks that will emerge. Warple's there, hand pass to D'Ambrosio, finds Moore in space in the centre of the field, goes to him by hand, Moore towards Bruce, he's inside the forward 50, he had to backtrack for the ball. And then he's tackled and everything will be held up inside the forward 50 for the Hawks. So he did his best to get there, but just had to backtrack to try and get the footy, couldn't take the mark. And it's a ball up inside Hawthorn's attacking 50.
Ball's had it 24 times for Hawthorn. He's been very busy. Helps at 13 in Oliver trying to get the clearing kick. It ends up with Moore. Stabs it across the 50. Finds McDonald. And Connor McDonald's got it 45 metres out. Slight angle right of centre for the Hawks. Trying to make it a 40-point game.
Yeah, perfect example there of the Melbourne players bees to a honeypot. Noses in the trough. All trying to win the contested footy in the balance of the high half forwards. And Ginnivan quick clean hands out to Moore. And then McDonald just spreading away from that contest and finding easy space.
86th game for Connor McDonald. Been such a regular part of their side since coming into the team. He can't sneak that one through for his 17th of the season it would have been. He misses to the right to minor score. 35-point Hawthorn lead. 11 gone third term. Saturday footy on ABC Sport here at the MCG.
Margin got out to a game-high 40 points midway through the second term. Now, like Joel said, at 35 points as the kick-out comes from Turner, goes down the line. It's a free kick coming back to Jake Melksham. So the sub will come in and take the free kick just in front of the benches. It's a long kick. We'll get it almost to the top of the 50 for the Ds. Petty came chiming in from the left, couldn't take the mark. Langford's in a battle there to try and get to the ball, slides in, takes it, hand passes it almost into the knees of Chandler, flicks it back in to try and keep the ball in play. Hawks defenders are around the footy and Scrimshaw just taps it and helps it back over the boundary line for a throw-in. So this will be a throw-in about 40 metres around from the D's goal, towards the punt road end in this third term, trailing by 35 points. It's Petty in the ruck against Chol. Both get a hand to it. Comes down towards Sicily. Just shoves it on his boot. A spiralling ball and it'll go out of bounds. Touched. So it'll be a throw-in just between wing and half forward for the Ds.
Don't mind that. Sicily can be a bit silly sometimes.
Yeah, I reckon you're the first to say that, Lots. Lauren Borden, Joel Peterson calling the footy for you. All Australians, Brett Delidio and Chad Wingard, your experts. Lex Pesce on the boundary. Adelaide and Collingwood still to come tonight at the Adelaide Oval, a genuine blockbuster. Hubby or Chol might have taken one on the bonds there from Max Gawn. And the Hawthorn fans realise that with the free kick. It's a dangerous kick into the middle of the ground and Moore comes sprawling forward to mark. His 26th disposal of the game is a kick out wide.
Is that not a free kick?
Fritsch and D'Ambrosio got tangled up. Bailey Fritsch, the beneficiary of maybe what was an interesting no call. And now Petty out wide. Melksham marks it right half forward. Finally gets a touch of it after warming up for what feels like 3 weeks. Kicks centrally. He's got Demons players everywhere. Ball's allowed to bounce to Langford. Now to Langdon. Now to Pickett. Left forward pocket. Sizes things up. Cuts the kick back inboard. Hawks numbers there. Ward goes up. Can't take the mark. Nash is there. Still inside forward 50 for Melbourne. The hack kick out lands in the lap of Turner. Melbourne can set something up from the middle of the ground.
Turner puts the kick inside 50. It was flat and it's a direct turnover. As Carl Amon stands back and easily holds on to the intercept mark. Chips it out towards Ginnivan at right half back and he can hand pass it across to the run of Moore. Darts the kick to centre wing. And there's the cheers for Bruce who has the footy. It's a good looking kick as he sends a well-weighted pass to Mitch Lewis. 52 metres out from Hawthorn's attacking goal. And towards the city end. Lewis just holds things up here. He's got a target inside the forward pocket. He wants to go there. It's Sicily in his long sleeves. Was behind it. Got the tap down. Couldn't take the mark. Close to the boundary. Did it go over? Yes.
Free kick.
Free kick. So a free kick against Sicily, bit of a hold?
No,
he just dropped it.
He dropped the footy.
I just dropped it. I thought he was just
made contact with it.
So it'll be
Holding the ball is what it is.
Sparrow to take the free.
Oliver out wide, looking for Fritsch. Too wide, out of bounds on the full. No, free kick. Paid for a push. So that was a bit of fortune going the way of Bailey Fritsch. The predominantly Hawthorn crowd a bit frustrated by that. Fritsch kicks up the southern wing. Well, floating in front, an impressive mark from Sparrow. He was up among the Hawks and pulled it in. Kicks into the centre of the ground. Barris does well to cut it off. Jaff has a play at it. Sicily just sort of throws a lame hand at it. Couldn't really do much to affect the contest. Oh, it's fumbly, it's messy stuff at the moment from both of these teams. Bowie overran the footy, picked up by McDonald. Now to Luke Bruce, 45 metres out, curling kick, trademark. And a man who so often lets his actions do the talking joins the Hawks Sally Club. And he's got the better part of 45,000 Hawks fans celebrating with him. And if you want to know what this man means to this football club, that is a perfect, audible illustration of it. After another trademark finish from Luke Bruce, his 553rd career goal. Hawthorn by 41 points, 9-8-62 to 3-3-21, 15 and a half gone in the third term. I don't reckon he busts out the Sallies too often, does he, Chad?
He's pretty subdued, isn't he, Punky, usually?
Yeah, when you've kicked 500 of them, you might get a little bit bored of kicking that many goals, especially when it's not in a final. So, great finish, pretty stock standard for him with a snap around the corner. But, great finish, a great moment for him.
And so the ball's tossed back up in the middle after Bruce goal. Viney with the footy, hand passes it to Van Rooyen, who puts his plenty on his kick as he goes inside 50. Petty with the mark, holding free, going the way of the D's as well.
Yeah, Battle just trying to stop Petty from getting a run out, trying to protect Barras behind him, but I didn't realise as soon as they see two arms around, I tend to think that's what the umpires are looking for. What's he up to, Petty, here today? He's had the 8, getting one goal already. He was going to have a big day for them to be any sort of chance. He's been probably denied a lot of looks, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. So it was that goal coming in the first term for Harry Petty on the approach with the boos of the crowd, those in brown and gold around the ground. He lets loose this one towards goal and he celebrates. He gets one straight back for the D's. And after kicking a goal in the first quarter, he has another one in the third term. It's 35 points. Hawthorn's lead now. The D's 4-3-27, Hawthorn 9-8-62. 17 minutes played in the third term. Saturday afternoon footy on ABC Sport.
And they're looking a little bit better, Melbourne. Like you said, the scores, I think, this quarter are pretty even. And they just look like they've probably lifted their pressure a little bit. Hawthorn maybe a little bit sluggish, but they're not moving the ball as, I suppose, dominant as they were at, I suppose, the start of the first half. But 2 goals for to 1 goal 3. I mean, very similar outcomes, just not obviously kicking straight, but great effort there from Petty because he has not had it easy. He has not had any lead-up opportunities. Melbourne have obviously had a lot of shots outside 50, but their touch compared to Hawthorn's just completely different. So it's a hard go at the moment for him.
100th game for Harry Petty from country South Australia. Storied South Australian sporting family. His sister Hannah, a T-Birds captain for a long time. Kick inside forward 50 after a clearance for Melbourne, and Sicily gets the free kick.
Bronx Shepherd.
Yep, Bronx cheers from the Hawthorn fans who feel somewhat hard done by, up by 35 points in penultimate round of the season. It's interesting what draws the ire of supporters sometimes. Ball out toward the boundary line, it'll be tossed back in underneath the Shane Warne stand. Joel Peterson, Lauren Borden calling the action for you. Brett Delidio, Chad Wingard, your experts, Lex Pesce on the boundary. It's been a changeable day weather-wise in Melbourne. Now the lights fully ablaze here at the MCG and illuminating the scene of what is looking like a 15th Hawthorn win of the campaign, and one that would just about sew up their September spot. McVee was spinning through at the contest, got taken a little bit high, so he kicks defensively. And now to Salem, to Cully, the Langwarren product. Be about the only person in the world who finds driving to Casey Fields convenient for training for the D's.
Wasn't convenient for Simon Goodwin.
No, certainly not, and I don't think he was alone there. Handball over the top from Salem. Back to Cully, dragged down in the tackle. Umpire says mine. And we'll have a ball up in front of the interchange. 9.862 the Hawks, 4.327 the D's, 0437 774 774 to get in touch with us on ABC Sport.
Ball up, gone, basically unopposed, just rips it out from himself. Hand pass to Cully, kicks it down the line, and Ginniman's there to step back and intercept the footy for the Hawks. So he looks ahead of him, under the night sky at the MCG, and just chips it forward towards Jath, who's running. He has to take it on a little half volley, move it backwards towards Ginniman quickly, who darts the kick back forward to Amon. Again, it's a little low. He can't take the mark. Allows friction in. Hand pass to Sparrow. Flicks it back towards Viney. And Viney will go towards Van Rooyen, top of the 50. In the contest with Barras, he punches it out of bounds, and it'll be a throw-in at the top of the 50 for the D's. So 2 goals apiece in this third term. Hawthorn still leading by a convincing 35 points. They've led from the very opening minute of this game when Moore put through the first goal for the Hawks. Toss back in, Newcomb chases after it in a battle with Cully, and the two dive on top of the ball, and it'll be a throw up about half forward for the D's. 35 points the margin. We've just ticked into red time in the third quarter.
Newcomb over the footy. Oliver tries to take it away. Ward is still trying to lock down that contract extension. Handball out wide to Jath, who's pushed across and out. And he's been, he's sort of struggled to cement his spot in the team for a little while. Chat over his first couple of years, Josh Ward, but he's had an outstanding year.
It's mainly been because the guys that he's behind. Jago Mira was there, Tom Mitchell, and now you've got the new, I suppose, players coming through. And the injury of Will Day helps. It's another player that he doesn't have to beat. But he's been, and you've got Cam McKenzie, you've got so many of these young players that are not getting games purely because they've just got so much depth. But yeah, obviously, when you get the opportunity, he's making the most of it because he's playing well tonight.
Embarrassment of riches for the Hawks. And the stoppage, Salem tried to kick inside forward 50 to Melksham. And out and over for a boundary throw-in. Melksham lined up on Sicily at the moment, so two pretty... How would you describe those two? They can be both agitators at times, each of them. Pretty fiery customers when they want to be, both immensely crafty as well. Clearing kick for the Hawks, up toward Scholl, through his hands. McDonald toe poked it on, then did again into Bruce. Coming away with it, though, for the D's is Rivers. Handball infield, Turner. Back to McVie. Now Salem nurses the kick down the boundary line. He finds Oliver in front of the Hawthorn bench. Hawthorn by 35 points, 22 minutes gone, third term. Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
Oliver with a kick, everyone converges on it. Pickett was there, couldn't take it down to the ground. Meek takes it, hand passes it across to Impey, who flicks it across to Newcomb, who's wrapped up by Cully and Bowie, and we'll have another ball up. Still that half-forward line for the D's. So it's been stuck in this similar position across the last few minutes. Has gone, taps it out. Moore takes it over the boundary line for a throw-in. So both subs have been activated. Bruce and Melksham on the ground. It's Tom McDonald off for the D's and Nick Watson on the bench for the Hawks. Leading by 35 points, 22 minutes played in this third term. Tossed in, and it's Meek that gets a little hand to it. It falls to the turf and allows Petrarca to run onto it, pick it up, and give it a little flick across to Bowie, who darts the kick inside to the forward pocket across Pickett. And it's a free kick for a little shove that'll go the Hawks' way, and it'll go to Jarman Impey. Spin around the footy at the right back pocket and take the free for his Hawthorn side, leading by 35 points.
Third in the best and fairest last year, Jarman Impey, and I think he'd be right up there again, as Chad alluded to pre-game. Long kick up the line, and Meek, the big man, hasn't had it all his own way against Max Gawn this afternoon as he did last week. He's still been serviceable. Kicks infield to the back point of the square for Eamon. Eamon kicks inside the forward 50. May brings it down for the Demons. Bowie spun into trouble, got caught. Umpire says it's okay, and it's a ball up. 40 metres out from the Hawthorn goal. Meek rushes across, slaps it out. Bowie curls it out toward the boundary line. It'll need a touch on it before it goes out. Chandler might even be able to keep it in. He does. And then he puts the afterburners on and races away from Impey. No mean feat. Kicks a copter up toward Petrarca with a big rise over the top of Scrimshaw. Just couldn't pull it in. Scrimshaw comes away with it, kicks it straight to May in the middle of the ground for Melbourne. Off to Sparrow. Sparrow inside forward 50. Scrimshaw floating back. He intercepts impressively, and he can set up another Hawthorn attack.
Oh, dear. What's he doing?
No.
So he puts a kick right to centre wing. And it's, Sparrow was there to try and bring it to ground. Umpire calls play on. McDonald will put it inside 50 here for the D's. Goes over the back of Gunston. Free kick. He's taken high, and Gunston will come in and have a shot at goal in this third term.
As we saw the best and worst of Jack Scrimshaw right there. Then we got a hanger taken on him, cleans it up, then kicks it straight to the D's, then goes back and takes an intercept mark, which is very brave and a great mark, and then kicks an absolute mung off the inside of the boot.
What's Jack Gunston got in this kick from 45 metres out? Of course he delivers. Gunston with 5 goals for the afternoon, and he's showing some of his best out there. 33 years of age, he has 5, and Hawthorn push out to a game high, or an equal game high of 41 points. 10-8-68 Hawthorn. Melbourne 4-3-27. 25 minutes gone in this third term. It's Saturday afternoon footy on ABC Sport as he comes to the bench, Jack Gunston, and you can hear the crowd just giving him a warm round of applause as he has a little breather on the bench.
And that's a killer, isn't it? Like, yeah, you defend him well, you're right on the back of him, and then you just give away a free kick. He was never going to mark that, Lids. You just got to know, and that's experience comes with the time. But he just drew that free kick. He knew he was no chance of marking that. He put his hands up,
your arms,
and he fell, and he got the free kick. And that's, like I said, his leading patterns are unbelievable. And like I said, if you want to watch someone to his craft and get it done, watch him at every opportunity you can.
Ump's gone down.
Yep, third bag of 5+ for Jack Gunston this season.
Newcombe, expect the fine.
That hurts.
4-4-5 in his last 3 games, and now an equal career best 58 goals on the season. What a campaign he's putting together. Just extraordinary. So the Demons with the free kick, and now Sparrow with the set-up kick. Top of the square, Petty from the back. Fritsch was in front, Petrarca stayed down, does the roving. It's not coming away, it'll be a ball up. 26 minutes gone, third term. Hawks by 41 points. Joel Peterson, Lauren Borden, Chad Wingard, Brett Delidio and Alexia Pesce with you on ABC Sport. Newcombe fights for it at the foot of the pack. He's locked up. We'll do it all again. Still inside forward 50 for the D's here at the Punt Road end. Langdon's handball clear of the contest. Scooped up by Ginnivan. Nice little bit of craft to get it onto his left boot with the one-handed ball drop, but he put it straight down the throat of May. He can go back inside forward 50 for Melbourne. Target is Fritsch. He's got 2 to beat. He rises. He brings it down to himself. And then he got caught. Got the handball away. Taken away by Moore, though, for Hawthorn. Now Jath and Hardwick and Sicily. They can try and build something off right half-back. Moore skies his kick up the southern wing.
It goes up, and again May was at the drop, couldn't hold on to this one in the end. It falls to the ground. And Lewis is in the pack for the Hawks. Viney's in there for the D's. And the umpire will come in to toss the ball up just forward of centre wing to the D's advantage. Underneath the Shane Warne stand, the MCG. Gawn and Meek go at it. Comes down to Viney. Just a quick hand pass across to Langdon, who tries to get the ball away. It'll be picked up, though, by Newcombe at the Hawks. Hand pass to Bruce. He hand passed it towards Jath. Fumbled it a little. It means in comes Ginnivan to try and have a go at it. He fumbled it. And it's all fumbled over the line in the end for a ball up at half forward for the D's. So we had a little bit of rain in the opening half. But apart from that, it has actually been quite clear conditions, if not a little cold down there at about probably 7 or 8 degrees, I think, once the sun set down in Melbourne. So Meek pushes it down. It's Fritsch rather, who roves it, takes the footy, and he's taken in a tackle. Go head down to Lex Pesce. What are you thinking the temperature is down there, Lex?
Yeah, about that. 7, 8. It was actually quite nice now, to be honest.
Backing a decision to go downstairs without the rain jacket too in the second half. It was a confident one, and it's been rewarded so far. Tackle was rewarded from Impey at the stoppage for the Hawks. He kicks to the top of the defensive 50 now for Newcombe. 0437 774 774. Look at question to Brett Delidio and Chad Wingard as Impey comes steaming through the centre of the ground. Hands it off to Ward. Now chips it wide. McDonald. He can set things up inside forward 50. The rise from Dia. Showing his hops again. And Kalsha's got a kick of 45 metres from directly in front.
Yeah, spot on, Joel. Rise was right because he elevated and went straight up to be able to get himself separation and get above that the ability to spoil. Just trying to see who was it against. Was it against Turner? Is that who's standing the mark, or was it? No, it was House again. No, it was Turner. Just his ability to go vertically, Chad, was incredible.
Kicked a goal last week, was subbed out of the game. He's got one already from right on the 50. He lets it go and misses to the right-hand side. Hawthorn's lead is 42 points, 29 gone third term.
And that's the beauty of Hawks tools. They all add something different, and that's why it's so hard to pick. They picked 4 of them tonight because Chol can do the second ruck. Deer can obviously have that rise just then. Mitchie Lewis and Gunston with their craft and goaling prowess. So it's going to be pretty hard if they can fit him into the side, but they obviously add so much difference. That's why it's so hard to pick him.
And as the defenders have been under pressure across the evening, May's kick just misses Turner. It bounces out of bounds for a throwing 35 metres around from the right behind post for the Hawks. So the D's own defence has created a stoppage inside 50. The Hawks might be able to pounce on, leading by 42 points late in this third term. Gone to the front, just pushes it forward. Chol will be able to rove, try and get on the end of it. Bruce has a kick off the ground. It's just across to the side, and it'll be a behind. But they do get a score in those final moments. It hit the post. And it means that Hawthorn's lead will push out to 43 points at the final change. 10-10-70. It's Melbourne 4-3-27. The lead 43 points there. Leading the way in the goals is Jack Gunston, who's got 5 goals across the afternoon. And then Dylan Moore's got a couple. Nick Watson, Kalsha Deer with singles. And Luke Bruce is the sub. He came on in that third term and he's got a goal as well. Well, for Melbourne, Harrison Petty's got a couple. Cade Chandler and Clayton Oliver each wings with singles there for the Ds. But it is Hawthorn ahead by 43 points ahead of the final quarter.
Doing it pretty nicely with a quarter to go are the Hawks. And, of course, the win means that their spot in September will be virtually assured, and it brings it down to that all-important clash next Sunday afternoon between the Western Bulldogs and Fremantle, provided that the Western Bulldogs do their bit and handle business tomorrow. In the AFLW, it's the Bombers by 17 points over the Giants halfway through the second term in Canberra, 4-3-27 to 1-4-10. Earlier today, Carlton by 54 points over Port Adelaide with 7 goals from Harry Mackay. GWS by 35 points over the Gold Coast. And later tonight, a massive game. Adelaide and Collingwood at the Adelaide Oval, a genuine blockbuster in the penultimate round of the season. We'll get a preview of that with Aaron Bryans very, very soon indeed. Hawks by 43 at the final change here at the G. It's Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
The new neighbour.
I'm Isabel.
Who's not what she seems.
Somebody here knows something. You'd be amazed the things you learn about a place if you pay attention.
The Family Next Door. Sunday nights on ABC TV and ABC iView.
This is the 2025 AFL Premiership season on ABC Sport.
Salem picks it up from in front of Ward's head and then puts it inside 50 for the Ds. Hand pass towards Petty. Hand pass to Chandler. He'll kick it towards goal. One bounce and it's through. It's a very early goal in the third term for the Ds.
He handballed over the top of 3 Melbourne players to get it back to Jaff. Jaff kicks inside the forward 50 to Gunston, who makes the running and marks 45 metres out. He's had 2 shots from here already. So here's Jack Gunston from right on the 50. Sinks the slipper into it, and it is sublime. 4 goals for Jack Gunston. Sicily just sort of throws a lame hand at it. Couldn't really do much to affect the contest. Oh, it's fumbly, it's messy stuff at the moment from both of these teams. Bowie overran the footy, picked up by McDonald. Now to Luke Bruce, 45 metres out, curling kick, trademark. And a man who so often lets his actions do the talking joins the Hawks Sally Club, and he's got the better part of 45,000 Hawks fans celebrating with him. And if you want to know what this man means to this football club, that is a perfect, audible illustration of it.
Sparrow was there to try and bring it to ground. Umpire calls play on. McDonald will put it inside 50 here for the Ds. Goes over the back of Gunston. Free kick. He's taken high. What's Jack Gunston got in this kick? From 45 metres out. Of course he delivers. Gunston with 5 goals for the afternoon. And he's showing some of his best out there.
This is ABC Sports coverage of the AFL.
On your radio.
ABC Sport Digital.
And on the ABC Listen app.
What about the veterans for the Hawks? They've been such a part of this campaign alongside their young stars, and they're getting it done once more. 43 points is their lead at three-quarter time, Hawthorn 10-10-70 to 4-3-27. Massive night of football ahead here on ABC Sport. Adelaide and Collingwood, the team that now occupies top spot against the team that has for most of the season. It's a genuine blockbuster, and Adelaide is a great town when there's a big game on offer. Let's head there now to soak it all up and get a preview with Aaron Bryans. G'day, Az.
Hey, Joel, it really is one of the most anticipated games of the season, and so few things are certain in footy, but when you throw the Crows and the Pies into a pressure cooker, for some reason it just continually delivers thrilling results. So they've had 10 points or less margins in their last 5 games, and of course there's plenty to play for tonight to really ramp up that intensity. The Crows looking to lock away a top 2 finish, also trying to snap an 11-game winless streak against the Pies. Collingwood, meanwhile, attempting to rediscover their golden form. They're trying to hang on to a top 4 spot, but the season is slipping away. They've had just 1 win in their past 5 games. But Craig McRae last week said, judge us on our response. So we'll see what that is tonight. A bit of rain expected, so hopefully that doesn't diminish the sold-out crowd that has been that way for nearly a month here in the state of South Australia. The Crows fans are up and about, but anticipating at least 50,000 in attendance. And we've got an A-team in terms of our expert lineup as well for you. For it, the Premiership Crow Rod Jamieson and All-Australian midfielder Josh Franco as part of the call team. We are excited. I'm sure most of the footy community is as well. You can join us next on ABC Sport for the Crows and the Pies.
Looking forward to it, Az. Thank you. It'll be keeping all of us company on the drive home this evening. No doubt about that. It'll be an enthralling night of footy at the Adelaide Oval. Win, lose or draw for both of those teams. The result for Hawthorn, of course, is pretty significant in their season as well. Just about locking them up with a spot in September. And if you're Troy Chaplin and Melbourne and you've got a last quarter like this in a season like this where you don't really know what's all coming next, what do you get out of a last quarter here, Lids?
Oh, you just don't want to see your boys tap out. I think that's the biggest thing that you'll be trying to drum home in that third quarter huddle is, boys, we got 1 or 2 ways we can go here. You can wave the white flag, or you can show a bit of fight, and we can make as much of this game. I know it hasn't gone our way all day, but make as much of this as we can for the last 30 minutes of footy that we've got.
So it's a 7-goal plus lead to the Hawks. A win would shore up their spot in the postseason and hand the cards over to the Western Bulldogs and Fremantle to do their bit and try and sew up a spot in September. Opening clearance goes the way of Hawthorn. Warple kicks it wide to the southern wing. Big pack of players around the footy. Mitch Lewis is up there fighting for it. Got it out somehow to Moore, who had the kick smothered by Oliver. Got it back, got tackled by Oliver. Hand pass defensively to Impey. Shot it quickly to Warple. And now to Sicily. And now back to Battle. Oh, the kick to Impey made him really work for it and was a little bit too much on offer. Now Salem kicks inside 50 for Melbourne on the takeaway. And Van Rooyen lunging forward takes the mark down low, 45 metres out directly in front. He's been very quiet, Jacob Van Rooyen, in what's been a tough year. This would be a nice little consolation prize for him to nab the first of the last.
Again, it was another Hawthorn mistake, wasn't it? It wasn't really Melbourne's good play. This poor kid hasn't had any look at it at all today. He's just the 4 disposals. Real first and real shot on goal. Tough when you're trying to break into that senior side, and this is what you get.
22-year-old Sandgroper. He's certainly got plenty of talent. He lays into it from 45 metres out and shows a glimpse of it there with an assured set shot finish. 10-10-70 to 5-3-33. The first goal of the last quarter comes a minute in, and it narrows the gap to 37 points the way of the Hawks.
And Hawks are going to be careful. This is, they're thinking about playing finals. They want to play deep inside finals. That you can't allow to have 3 goals essentially on the back of turnovers from marks. Yep. So they're under no pressure. And if I said to you, Lids, who would be winning the inside 50 count? Who would it be if you're Hawthorn are 70 and Melbourne are 33? Who would you think?
Who would I say is winning?
Winning the inside 50 count. Who would you believe?
I'd say
you'd say Hawthorn, wouldn't you? Melbourne are winning 40 to 36 inside 50. So it just shows that Melbourne's got a big gaping hole there with their future in terms of actually making the most out of them, I suppose, inside 50s going forward. It's been the same all year.
Might nearly get another one here as Petrarca puts the kick out wide to half forward. Malcolm has to run onto it, tries to bash it away, doesn't get a hand to it, so Ambrosio can step in there, take the footy and curl it inside towards Meek. Got there to punch it away, gets to Ginnivan. He's tackled to the ground by Salem. It's wrapped up under him and will be a ball up just inside the centre square.
It's been longer than all year, Chatty, to be honest. It's been their gaping hole for the last 3 or 4.
Exactly right, yeah. And that's not just on forwards. That's on the delivery as well.
In the middle, it's Nash that takes it. Ricochets back to Warple. Hand passes it to D'Ambrosio right at centre wing, broadcast side. Curls the ball beautifully towards Bruce, who was standing all alone. 52 metres out. He shares it with his mate, his rival. A bit of both, Jack Gunston.
Yeah, that was always going. How the hell does he get that free? Pop-up sprinkler, Luke Bruce. His ability to get free and have 25 metres of space in the forward 50, mind you.
Yeah, it's the Stevie J special. Bring him up to the contest and race him back. He was the best at it, Stevie J. He averaged 20 disposals and 2 goals a game by doing it.
We talk about Melbourne needing a forward. How lucky are Hawthorn to have Bruce and Gunston as Gunston lets rip towards goal. And he has 6. So the combination of the 2 veteran forwards, and Gunston puts through his 6th for this evening on the MCG. The fans are absolutely delighted as you look around and see the brown and gold and the flags waving in the wind tonight. Hawthorn 11-10-76. Melbourne 5-3-33. It's 43 points the margin after Gunston's 6th.
There was no other place that ball was going. As soon as Luke Bruce turned around or got back off his mark, and Jack Gunston knew it too. He's just like, I just need to get onto his leg. Bang, drop it into a little bit of space. It was Mitch Duncan to Tomahawk, as we saw for how many times in those two. Exactly the same for those two boys.
So just to illustrate how good a season this has been, 2014 he kicks 58 goals in a premiership year. 2015 he kicks 57 goals in a premiership year. This year he's got 59, which is the most he's ever kicked in a season.
So premiership year, is that what I'm hearing?
Well, possibly. Possibly. The door remains open. That's absolutely for sure. Melbourne with the clearance from the restart. Langdon kicks toward full forward. And it's marked by Hardwick on the behind line. So 59 goals for Jack Gunston, the best tally of his distinguished career. It, of course, spans 3 clubs and 3 flags. And yet at the twilight of his career at age 33, he's producing some of the best he's ever done. The Hawks on the rebound here. They've exited the defensive 50 with ease all afternoon. Warple to McDonald, now to Jaff, and onto the chest of Gunston again. He's looking around for options. Don't worry about options, Jack. Just go back and kick it.
Yeah, I feel for the young defenders that have been made the play on Jack Gunston. He has had so much space, but also the guys delivering to him have had so much time, and that's been the difference. When you've got time and space, 1v0, it makes it very hard to defend.
Kicked a career best 7 against the Roos earlier in the season to equal that with another here. Jack Gunston sprawls his arms out wide and soaks up the adulation. Who knows how many more times he'll get to do it. The way he's playing, he's got plenty left yet. 7 goals for Jack Gunston in what's been a dominant performance. 7 goals, 3 from 13 disposals. And Hawthorn's lead is out to 49 points. 12-10-82 to 5-3-33 over the Demons. 6 minutes gone in the last.
Yeah, well, 7 goals, 3 to Gunston, to Melbourne, 5 goals, 3. He's absolutely killing them. He's been impressive, but I think the best thing for Melbourne here is to watch if you're a defender, this is really good insight of how to defend, because he's
hit the post.
Oh, he's calling it back.
You're kidding.
Why they work that out? This is 101, like leading patterns. He actually puts the defender, freezes him in every single leading he does, so that makes the defender obviously watch him every single time. Yeah, that's a boo. That's not a good boo. That's not for Bruce. This is for Gunston. So stiff.
That's flattening.
He's still outscoring Melbourne, by the way.
Well, now he's only kicked 6 goals.
Yeah.
So what's he doing?
Yeah. Inaccurate. Cost himself. Could have 10.
Right, so we'll scratch that off. 6 goals for Gunston as the fans boo as well.
Just the 6.
Yeah, just the 6, nothing big. May will kick it straight into the centre of the MCG. Clear battle to get the footy. Rivers had it, tackled by Impey, brought to ground, holding the footy. Impey caught him and wins the free kick in the centre of the MCG.
That's a stitch up, isn't it, when you have a good celebration like that and they call it back.
Let's do it again.
So he's got to try and get another one to equal his career high now as Impey moves it across to Meek, who moves it to Scrimshaw. Inside 50 he goes. Chol just running onto it. Couldn't take possession of it cleanly. Rivers is in there, falls over the footy almost, then takes it, pushes it out. Couldn't get it towards one of his teammates. It's all still tough going to get the footy. Sharp's in amongst it for Melbourne. He's tackled, couldn't get the footy out, and it'll be a ball up at the top of the goal square for the Hawks. 44 points still their lead. A convincing performance. 8 minutes played in the final term.
Gawn reaches over the top of Meek, slaps it down. Sharp went past it. 3 Demons converge on the tackle. Oliver's in there. So too was Turner to wrap up. Jack Gunston, who's still in the thick of everything. Gawn tried to take it himself that time. Ginnivan almost got boot to ball. Spills to the top of the goal square. Deer. Handball out toward Chol. Just protected the space. He posted Clayton Oliver up, but he forgot that he didn't have the ball in his hands. Kick clear defensively for Melbourne. His bash back toward D'Ambrosio. Kicks to a dangerous position. Meek goes up with 2 hands. Chol does the roving. Gets absolutely thrown into the turf. Meek didn't have it. He wanted a free. Gawn handballs on the ground. Only as far as Jack, who hooks it around the body and misses. And there's bodies everywhere inside forward 50 for Hawthorn. Mays sore. Gawn sore. They're going to be pretty bruised and battered after this one, Melbourne. Hawthorn by 45 points, 9 gone in the last.
We worked the ball up towards Fritsch, who rose over battle, couldn't take the mark. Petrarca was there at the drop of the foot. He puts his hands to his head. He's kicked it straight out of bounds, right in front of the Hawthorn bench.
What's he punching the ground for, mate? He's put out hands full. Come on, Christian. Don't let your emotions get the better of you.
That wouldn't be anything like Christian Petrarca to let the emotions get the better of him, as kick comes out to Battle, who had it, and he kicks it out of bounds on the full.
Geez, Joe's just been stitched up, I reckon, 4 times today, where he's been open and they've just turned it over.
It's in the same position where the Hawks had the free. Now it's Melcher who has the free. He goes to the top of the 50. Sicily's at the back, takes it, hand passes to D'Ambrosio. It was under all sorts of pressure from Fritsch. Ball spills out. Petrarca's there to hand pass it backwards towards Sparrow. Flicks it towards Melksham. He'll just put a dinky little kick towards Van Rooyen. Goes over the top of his head. And Carl Amon takes the mark. Pickett knocked it out too late. That's a 50-metre penalty. And Carl Amon will sprint the 50 metres that he gets right into the centre of the G.
And when Carl Amon sprints, it's a real sprint. Left foot kick inside forward 50. Oh, May and Gunston in the wrestle. No free kick. Gawn put it off the instep. It works out nicely to Sparrow. He's at half back. Now Oliver. Down the line, Van Rooyen has Sicily draped all over him. He doesn't get a free either. He's had a tough evening, Jacob Van Rooyen. Sparrow goes in, tackled by Sicily onto the AstroTurf, and James Sicily's on for some afters as well. Trying to put Sparrow back down onto the Melbourne bench. Well, in fact, onto the Hawthorn bench. Ball will be tossed in. Joel Peterson, Lauren Borden, Brett Delidio, Chad Wingard, and Lex Pesce with you at the MCG. Adelaide and Collingwood to come tonight. Big night of footy ahead on ABC Sport. Don't go anywhere for the best coverage and the best call of a blockbuster game. Sicily pumps it toward half forward. May couldn't mark. Deer picks it up, kicks to the pocket. Gunston again! Oh, he was ever so cruelly denied a few minutes ago.
Don't deny him this one.
And this time it's not just for 7 lids. It's for revenge. It's for retribution. He was never missing it. Forget your score review. Jack Gunston's got 7 to equal a career night. 7 goals, 4. On another extraordinary night, and now 60 goals for his season. 12-12-84 to 5-3-33. Hawks by 51 through 12 minutes of the last.
I reckon Hawthorn just posted before 60 goals, just archived it. No one knew he was going to come back, and then he's just put it through with a snap. I mean, You're not sure not when a kick like that from Kalshadir didn't even spin right, just lands in your lap. Like, Gunston's just having one of those days. I mean, I know he has kicked 7-4 now. Good, like you just said, it's good at 10 now, maybe 11, but he's impressive. Just the way he's moving at his age is super impressive to get that much gap on a lead.
7 goals for Gunston, and in the middle it's Warple. We'll get a hand pass across to Awon. Again, he's streaming through the MCG. Just dinks this kick right to the top of the 50. It'll bounce towards Bruce. He's got to take it close to the boundary line. Shrugs off his opponent to keep it in. Kicks the ball inboard. McDonald will be on the end of this one. So many times Hawthorn have looked inboard and been able to spot a mark from where they'll be able to take it almost directly in front. And it's McDonald will take this one for the Hawks.
Well, it's you can see the white flag starting to just creep up the pole, I think. Chatty, they're doing it with ease at the moment, out of the middle, finding easy targets.
So McDonald eases this one towards goals and he just squeezes it through for a behind. So Connor McDonald, just the behind there, but the lead is 52 points for the Hawks, 13 minutes played in the final term.
It's been a tough evening for the Demons, coming off such a good, strong run of recent form where they've played some good teams and haven't been beaten by much, if at all. It's been a real regression this afternoon. 53,871 is the official attendance posted on the scoreboard. Hawks by 52 points. Gawn works his way to front spot. Clearing kick came from Oliver, who's been busy throughout the course of the evening. Now Chandler, handball a bit too hot for his teammate. Jaff intercepts for Hawthorn. He handballed it straight back into the mess. McDonald picks up now to Ward, who pokes the kick inside the 50. Not the distance for Bruce. Flares it out wide. That's a clever kick to D'Ambrosio. And Massimo D'Ambrosio has marked 40 metres out on a 45-degree angle left of centre.
Great touch there from Luke Bruce, wasn't it? Could have easily forgiven him for just a little a left foot snap from there. He's probably good enough too, but the high percentage play, just to touch it over to your wing role, and then Massimo D'Ambrosio, his ability to play that role all day has been first class.
Every game this season for the young Hawk, just 5 goals, 8 on the campaign. You can't add to it in a major sense there. He tugs the kick to the left. 46 points, or 43 points. Sorry, I'm going to have a go. 53 points is the Hawthorn lead. I was nowhere near it with the first 2 attempts. 15 gone, final term.
Third time lucky as the kick comes out to Salem. His
third time brain working was.
This kick is a turnover anyway from the D's. Will be coming back into the Hawthorns forward 50 off Warple, who puts the kick to about 35 metres out. Deer running onto it, pushes it down. Langdon pulls it in, and it'll be a ball up at the top of the 50. So it will be tossed up. He front position just taps it out. Bowie runs over the ball, can't take it. McDonald's there to try and pick it up. There's about 6 players around the ball. It'll be locked up for a ball up. Lex Pesce on the boundary.
Jack Gunston's just headed down into the rooms with the doctor, just trying to find out what's going on down there.
Sore foot, too many goals.
There, leather poisoning. There's a number of possible ailments for Jack Gunston. Hopefully there's nothing too serious about that. Cully hands it away to Rivers, who is flowing through the middle of the ground. A couple of bounces, kicks toward half forward. Petty and Sicily collide. No free kick, ball out toward the boundary line. James Sicily wanted absolutely no part of that staying in. Couldn't have been more deliberate if he tried. It'll be tossed back in. Let's go downstairs again to Lex.
And on the other side, Stephen May has just gone down into the rooms with doctors. We'll keep an eye on that one too.
Game 250 for Stephen May. Isn't going to end the way that he would have wanted. Inaugural son, of course, and premiership player at Melbourne. Career that he's put together. The stoppage, Nash to Jath, tight roping the boundary line, hooks his kick up the line, bounces off the chest of Deer, who goes straight into tackle mode and locks things up. And we will have a ball up between the wing and half forward for Melbourne, southern side of the ground. They trail by 53 points, 16 gone final term. Adelaide Collingwood coming up tonight on ABC Sport from the Adelaide Oval. So all the coverage of that blockbuster game will be right here and on the ABC Listen app.
From the stoppage, it's a little tap out towards Jath, who has it. He's got Sharp hot on his heels, and it'll be a ball up outer side of the ground. Lex Petcher on the boundary.
Jack Gunston is all good. The docs were just checking on him. It may have been a sore foot. We don't actually know, but he's fine.
That's good to know. He's got to go for his career best of 8 if he can get back on the field, and he is all good, like you mentioned, as Rivers takes the footy, streams away with it, and will put the kick right to the top of the goal square for the D's. Melksham was at the front. He had 2 Hawks standing right beside him. Battle wins out, takes the footy, hand pass to Sicily, very close to the boundary line towards Battle, who's happy to get a little shove from Petty and just take it over the boundary line for a throw-in. So it'll be at the top of the 50 for the D's. The ball to be tossed in. We've got Collingwood coming up next week, Demons, to finish their season. Just the 7 wins from it up until this point. As Petty does a little bit of the ruck work. It comes straight to Battle, though, through the legs of McDonald. Bowie picks it up. Moore does well to tap it down, although it's picked up by Sparrow. And it'll be a kick for the D's towards goal. It's punched through by Jath. He gives it a good fist over the line. Battle was there as well to make sure it did go over. And a minor score for the D's. 52 points now. Hawthorn's advantage. 18 minutes played in the final term as Gunston makes his way back on the field.
I thought you were about to say as Gunston kicks in. That would have been a turn up for the books. It can't have been too sore. The kick in from the Hawks is brought back in by Melbourne on the rebound. Kick to full forward. Melksham was the target. Jath had a play at it. Now Petrarca cruising through the forward 50. Chandler at the junction of the 50 in the boundary. Hooks his kick in field. It was unconvincing if that's what he meant to do, but it falls into the lap of Sharp, who's got it 30 metres out directly in front.
Well, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt there. I think he was going for that inside kick. It didn't spin perfectly, Joel, you're right, but he was looking inboard. His eyes did shift to try and find one. It was a good catch by Harry Sharp in the end. The ball was kept travelling.
So Harry Sharp on the runway. So often the sub this year. Not today. And he strikes the post with his set shot there. 8 goals, 8 on the season for the young Demon. 5-5-35 to 12-14-86. 20 minutes gone. So just about to tick into time on in this last quarter.
Luke Bruce, the sub today. Nat Fyfe has been the sub for Freo across the last couple of weeks. Lid, Chad, do you like that going into the finals, that experienced player on the bench, or just team dependent? Melbourne almost look to take it inside 50. Langford will hand pass it across to Oliver. Puts the kick inside 50. Tapped away down to Cully. Falls down to Chandler. He roves, snaps and kicks it across to the left-hand side. So behind, it's Hawthorn's lead down to 50 points.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I think having that experienced, calm head on the bench, especially if things are going awry, and the ability to talk to young players like a Luke Bruce or Nat Fyfe, I mean, you're not, your fingers crossed is that you bring him on in the last quarter for a bit of damage, not for impact, in the second or third quarter. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't mind it.
Demons kick in. Hawks kick in, I should say. Goes into Demons' hands. Newcomb is tackled by Oliver. 2 Bulls going at it.
Fair to say the fizz has gone out of this game.
Yeah. Yep. I think Luke Bruce is a perfect person to start as a sub when you're starting 4 tools, because then you've got an option to size down if you need.
Again, another stoppage downstairs. Let's check in with Lex.
Luke actually said that during the week. He started his career as the sub and he's going to finish it as the sub, so he's happy with it.
He had to wait so long to get his opportunities through Box Hill after coming down from Tamora. Goes to ground again, and we'll have another ball up. Hawthorn, meanwhile, closing in on Collingwood percentage-wise, yes. So 124.1 to 124.2 on the live ladder. So that could come into play as well over the next little while.
So there is plenty riding on this match, and like you mentioned, Adelaide and Collingwood coming up right up following this match. A bit of a build-up to lead into a hot contest out there in Adelaide to see if Collingwood can keep their winning run going against the Crows, or the Crows are in red-hot form. They can take it on their home deck of the Adelaide Oval as Hawthorn move it through the centre of the MCG, Meek across to Sicily. On the southern side of the ground, he just chips it towards Scrimshaw. The sting certainly has been taken out of this game as 21 minutes have ticked over in this final term. Scrimshaw just holding on to the footy, play on, no pressure coming at him from any of his Melbourne opponents. He'll go inside 50. There's Gawn, though, standing back and holds on to the mark. So Melbourne captain taking A defensive grab inside 50, kicks it across to Viney, who moves it to Langdon quickly. Inside 50, he was looking for Petrarca, didn't get to him. Battle was there first, can chip it to McDonald, who's got the ball, centre wing for the Hawks. Almost looks like he's off to pass to Impey on his left. In the end, he goes to his right in Battle, and Battle uses Impey by hands. Impey inside 50, was looking for a mark from Bruce, couldn't take it. Petty's there, he's a little unsure of what to do, and in the end curls the ball in to half back for the D's. But it's Josh Battle who's there for the Hawks.
Find him.
To take the mark.
He's assessing the options, surveying the field. Where's number 19? Deere gets a run at it. He stayed down that time, Gunston. Bowie along the boundary line. That kick is out of bounds on the 4.
Landed on the chalk.
On the chalk. Hawkeye Brett Delidio at the back of the box.
Got very lucky.
So it'll be tossed back in. It definitely landed on the chalk inside the forward 50. The boundary throw-in's happening 52 metres out. So the boundary umpire just couldn't be bothered running the extra 6 metres in time on. Fair enough, well played. Nice bit of craft. Nash sockers it off the ground to full forward. Bruce, quick hands to McDonald, around the body, another for the Hawks. Connor McDonald on the board. 1 goal 3. It's been a busy afternoon for him to go with his 25 touches. And the Hawthorn lead now almost breaches 60 points. 13-14-92 to 5-6-36. 23 and a half gone in the final term. Question without notice, and it's a little bit of a left field one, but if we line up this Melbourne coaching job, and you were applying for the role, we've had you on the selection committee already, so we may as well now have...
We're going to appoint ourselves.
Yeah, exactly. Why not? Is it a team that is in some kind of a window, or is this a full rebuild down and up?
I don't think it's full rebuild. No, I don't think it's full rebuild at all. I think they've got some very valuable pieces of a puzzle there. They need another key forward, and they need to replenish with some of their key backs as well, but they also need some speed. I think another pre-season into young Windsor, I think, will be really valuable for them. You know, Harvey Langford gets another one, and then if they can try and add someone on the outside, I think that could be really valuable.
Second game under interim coach Troy Chaplin. Petrarca takes the footy, hand passes it out to Bowie, who puts the kick to Van Roy and marks. Right at the top of the 50. Got the lead on Battle, held on to it. 51 metres out, just chips it to the top of the goal square. Melksham's at the back of the pack. He comes to ground. Scrimshaw will pick it up, hand pass it to D'Ambrosio, who tries to kick to bring it inboard, and in the end it's Van Roy who was standing at the back of the 50. And he's able to mop it up for the D's with a mark. Just a little chip inside 50. Here's Gone, who runs into the space.
Can someone explain to me how you kick a goal at one end, the Hawthorn, but then go down in percentage? How does that happen? Wouldn't the more goals they kick make them go up? Because they were 124.1 to 124.2 to Collingwood, then went down to 123.9. How does that happen?
That's a very good...
Am I missing something with maths?
No, because there's a way
it's for and against, obviously,
Yeah.
how it works, but I don't know. I would have thought they'd go up. Anyway.
So Max Gawn will come in here and just edge this one across the face of goals for a point.
Text in, please, if you know that. I've got no idea.
We'll head down to Lex Pesha on the boundary.
What did you say they were, Lids? 123 point...
I said that they 123.9, but we've just said Lids is right. That's a graphics error by Fox. But it's also on the AFL Live app.
Yes. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what's going on there. Even with the behind that Chandler kicked earlier, as now they get another chance here, the D's. Swinging it around the body is sharp, and he can't quite nail it. He strikes the inside of the post, and a minor score, so that probably knocks Hawthorn's percentage down. Based on recent results?
They're back up now. They're back up to 124.2, the same as Collingwood.
Magnificent. They're onto it. So 54 points is the margin. Hawks well and truly ahead.
I'm on live ladder watch here, everyone, if you haven't noticed.
A long kick comes out from Impey. There's a lot of fans who have been on live ladder watch for the past 2 or 3 weeks as well.
Our old friends of the Could-have-beens would be having conniptions at the moment, Loz.
That can get pretty hard sometimes. It's Hardwick who puts the kick inside 50 for the Hawks. It bobbles its way down to Warple. It goes to the pocket. It wasn't where he was intending to put it, but Gunston was hunting it. Couldn't take the mark. It'll be a throw it inside forward 50 for the Hawks.
How many decimal points do you go to in the live ladder watch? Can we get you to 2 decimal points?
It's only Not unless I go try and extend this thing. I don't know.
So Lids is doing the maths. The ball in comes. It's gone at the front. He palms it down straight to Warple, to Chol, who loses the footy. Bruce has a go at it. He can't quite get it away cleanly. It goes to Meek, and he's wrapped up by God. It'll be a ball up inside forward 50 for the Hawks. 54 points to the good late stages of this final turn.
Adelaide and Collingwood coming up. Send you there for the pre-game very soon before a massive game at the Adelaide Oval tonight. Viney comes steaming off halfback, can't take it with him, and now it's turned over, this time in Demons colours. Sharp out wide to Van Rooyen. Pickett streams forward. Langdon's out the back. Kick will try to get in that direction. Oh, just had enough on it. But Barris did enough to worry Langdon out of it. He slid in and couldn't take the mark. More inside defensive 50 for Hawthorn. To Impey. Now into the centre of the ground. Warple drops the mark. Turns it over. Rivers to Salem, to Oliver, back to Salem, now to Viney. He got caught, dispossessed, picked up by McDonald for the Hawks, all in the centre of the ground. Sparrow for Melbourne. Handball back to Petty. He got crunched when he didn't have it. Free kick, play on advantage for the D's. Striding through the 50s, Oliver sends it to full forward. Melksham in from the back. Langford stayed down, hooks it around the body and got it. And Harvey Langford is able to snap truly for his first of the game and the 13th of what is a promising first season. 48 points is Hawthorn's lead, 13-14-92 to 6-8-44. 29 minutes gone in this final term.
Well, if anyone's wondering, Chatty's here.
Man, sorry, mate.
I thought you'd gone with the traffic.
Yeah, sorry, guys. I'm actually on the way home. But I just want to speak about Massimo there. That was pretty courageous. Obviously, I don't know how Melksham got that much space, but Massimo's coming down from the wing and just absolutely thrown his body into that. He's obviously walked off worse for wear, and obviously Melbourne still get the goal, but that's some of the stuff that the players that you love playing with. They just put their body in line, getting that across, and yes, I'm still here. I'm just really intrigued by the ladder watch, so I thought I'd just have your moment.
Speaking of the live ladder, this is a great text from Catherine, who says, the live ladder takes me back to when the scores of all the other games would be shown on the scoreboard, often to either cheers or boos from the crowd at that game.
That's excellent. It's a direct inside 50 from Gorn. Barris was at the front. Van Rooyen takes the footy, hand passes it away to Barris, who intercepts it. Hand pass back to Impey. Dodges left then right, then puts it straight into the path of Van Rooyen.
This is not helping the live ladder, Hawks. You're not helping yourselves. The other one that I like there off the text, no name put to it, but hi guys, answer, ask Corbin. That's exactly right. Whenever in doubt, just ask Corb. He's usually got all the answers for you.
Loves his stats.
He does love his stats. A real nerd in that sense.
Few of us battling with the maths at the moment in the box. Van Rooyen looks to snap it towards goal, impact the percentage on the live ladder, and he does. He's got the full 6 points for Melbourne. That's 2 goals for him tonight. The lead just cut back to 42 points Hawthorn's way. 7-8-50 Melbourne. Hawthorn 13-14-92. 30 minutes played in the final term. That's a late one for the D's that impacts that percentage on the live ladder.
It does. I'm going to give it up because it's simple maths. Maths ain't simple. I'm sorry, it's not. Then to follow on with your text to go along with that, whoever it was, it's it's like trying to read Braille.
As soon as you get into year 9, they start chucking like letters in there. That's not simple. Maths not simple in any sense.
Yeah, 45 seconds to go. We're nearing the close of this one.
We'll be sending everyone to Adelaide and Collingwood. 7 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time. So you get the full build-up from the Adelaide Oval with ABC call team. Aaron Bryant's, Tom Wilson, Rod Jamison, Josh Franco, Braden Ingram. Your call team for this evening at the Adelaide Oval. What a game that will be in prospect. Salem's out the back of a long kick to half forward for Hawthorn. Tracks it down, cuts it in field. Rivers going acrobatically to try and pull it in with one hand. Hands off to Sparrow, who's been very busy tonight. Disposal number 23 for him. Back to Rivers, now to Van Rooyen. Out wide to Cully, who strides and kicks on the left boot to the pocket. Pickett upstairs. Did he pull it in inside the field of play? Yes, he did. And on a night when Hawthorn have secured a big win. Cozzy Pickett will have the final say as to whether the margin is 42, 41 or 36. He is taking a shot 20 metres outside the boundary line, and he can't come around the mark. So
he can go backwards
from
the mark.
But he's only got so much space between he and the fence at the moment. So hooks it around the body. That's a terrific finish. Casual as you like, clinical as you like from Cozzy Pickett. He makes it a 6-goal win, but it is a win of real significance for Hawthorn. It just about sews them up a spot in September, and who knows where they could go from there.
We're the mighty fighting Hawks. We love our club and we play to win, riding the bumps with a grin at Hawthorn. Come on, may you find us striving. Teamwork is the thing that talks. One for all and all for one, the way we play at Hawthorn. We are the mighty fighting Hawks.
They burst out of the blocks, the Hawks. They kicked 5 of the first 6 goals of the game. They kicked 3 within the first 6 minutes. And from then on, it was just Jack Gunston watch. How many would he end up with? He kicked 2 in the first term. He ended up rattling home to kick 7 goals, 4. An equal career best night for the veteran. Now his best goals in a season with 60. And for his team, it means that the Cards only need to fall right. They win next week and they'll play finals.
Team at Hawthorn, we're the mighty fighting Hawks. We love our club and we play to win, riding the bumps with a grin at Hawthorn. Come what may, you'll find us striving. Teamwork is the thing that talks. One for all and all for one, the way we play at Hawthorn.
13-14-92 to 8-8-56. I think Cozzy Pickett's just swapped jumpers with Luke Bruce.
Has he?
As part of the TV interview down there, Luke Bruce was being interviewed, and he's got the kit off, and so does Cozzy. Cozzy's got a Hawthorn jumper over his shoulder, and Luke Bruce got a Melbourne jumper over his shoulder.
Yeah, that's a nice touch. Obviously looked up to him a lot as a young footy fan, watching Luke Bruce go about his craft. I'd be trying to grab a hold of it too.
It's not a bad night to do it. So it ends up being a 36-point win for Hawthorn, which wasn't as dominant as it could have been. 7 goals for for Jack Gunston, and Luke Bruce hitting the scoreboard late in the piece as well. We've got about 9 minutes. We'll try and grab the Hawks song. We'll get the votes in the ABC Footballer of the Year before we head you to the Adelaide Oval for Adelaide and Collingwood. But Pretolidio, Chad Wingard, how do you sum that one up at the end of it all?
It was pretty convincing, wasn't it? The Hawks, they started the game well, and they just held Melbourne at arm's length for the whole game. They were far too strong. Their ability to deny Melbourne the footy, essentially, they kept it away from them. They closed the gap a little bit in terms of the overall disposals at the end of the game. They're 374 to 404, that's a huge number. The marks, to me, is the one that stands out. And it was in the first quarter, second, the third quarter. It's 102 to 68. Their ability to win it first and then kick it and spread and not allow Melbourne to get any sort of ball and keep control of it was their strong suit. And then they didn't have an answer at all, did they, for Jack Gunston? Stephen May in his 250th, he got his pants pulled down early in the game, and then they went to young Howes, and then Disco Turner had a bit of a turn on him as well. But he was impressive today, Jack Gunston. 7 goals, 4. My goodness, that's a day out. I got in trouble last time. We were talking about how good he was at his age. Andy from Wodonga was texting in and giving me some real feedback. But sorry, mate, at his age, that is damn impressive. 7 goals, 4, and going on for another year, you would have to think, and All-Australian this year as well, Chatty. So he's been incredible. And as we were talking about through the call, 58 goals, 57 goals in premiership years. Now he's kicked, 59, 60. Can it be another premiership?
Yep, 60 goals, 30 on the season.
It's pretty impressive. Pretty impressive return. Yep.
Yeah, and Hawthorn were clinical tonight. I thought they looked like they pulled the pedal off the metal a little bit in that last quarter, the last 10 minutes specifically, but Yeah, they were super impressive. I think there's a few things they still need to clean up if they want to really contend. I think their disposal, their in the back 50 especially, a few turnovers that were not needed, a bit lazy. And also, I think the inside 50 is definitely a concern. We know they actually lost that battle pretty convincingly in the end. It was 56-49, and you have to be super potent if you're going to lose inside 50 battle, which they were. Yep. But when you're coming up against teams that are going to have the potency up forward, you're going to need to win that centre bounce and centre clearances, the midfield battle more often than not. And that's why I think Hawthorn is going to go as far as their midfield is going to let them. Yep. So I'm not saying that their personnel, obviously you can't change your personnel at this point of the season, but who's going to step up? Like you said, Ward had a great game. I thought he had a great first half. He slowed down a little bit in the second half. But who are you guys that you lean on every week? Yes, it's Newcombe. Warple was he was okay to have 27, but he went at 42%. So for me, it's just who's going to step up week in, who can you rely on in that midfield unit coming into the end of the season. You come up against the Dacostas of the world, you come up against the Neil, all these guys that have obviously got superpower in their midfield unit. That's just not where the superpower is for Hawthorn, and that's okay. But how do they get around that like they did today with their half forwards? Yeah, their half forwards who are kind of helping them out. Yep. But yeah, I love what Hawthorn did, and I think if you're Melbourne, like we just spoke about before, it's not a full rebuild, but they've got some big holes they need to fill. And like you said, Gawn's getting older as well, so how longer can he do? Yes, he's going to get AA probably this year, but they just need to, I suppose, get some youth inside that midfield as well, especially though you can't have Viney, Petrarca and Clayton Oliver, I suppose, keep going for many more years to come.
But it's just the same though, like Petrarca, Oliver, Viney in that midfield mix, along with Sparrow going through there a little bit. It's the same. We know what they're going to give. They're going to put their head over it, and they're going to bang and crash, and then they're going to kick it at 36, 56 and 63% respectively. And I think that's the difference, their ability to get from inside to then out and use it. And I love the power of all three of those guys and their want to put their head over the footy and compete and be combative, but their lack of polish has been their Achilles heel since after they won their flag. They've been a dominant side. They're defensively great. Their midfield, like their clearance numbers, contested footy looks fantastic.
And tackles, yeah.
But then they bomb it inside forward 50 and makes it really hard for anyone to catch it. Ben Brown when he was there, and Van Ryan. Melksham's had an outstanding year given his size and his ability to kick goals, but you're relying on absolute craft, aren't you? Because Pickett bobbing up and he's been their leading goal kicker.
And it seems like it's not binary. It's not just system and it's not just personnel. It's over time. It's probably been a combination of both.
100%.
With who they've had there. The votes in the ABC Footballer of the Year with the Hawks about to head into the rooms for the song?
Yes, we're going to go one vote. I think this is the hardest part of the conversation, who get the one vote, whether it was Jarman Impey, I would have got the 0.5 vote, I guess, but Connor McDonald with 28 disposals. The reason why he got it is he had 12 score involvements. He had 1 goal 3. He could have had a real big day out if he kicked straight. 2 votes we're going to go with Dylan Moore. He had 32 disposals, 2 goals, 6 score involvements, 3 clearances. He was pretty important early on. He obviously went more forward towards the game going on, but you can't go past the 3 votes in Jack Gunston. 14 disposals, but yes, he had the lazy 7 goal 4. I mean, nearly outscoring Melbourne in the end. He was just super potent. No one could stop him. And like I said, I know we speak about his age, but it's the way that he's moving, which is the most impressive. Yes, he's kicking goals and he's doing it, but he's doing it the way that it looked like he did in 2015. Like, he's still moving the same way. Yep. That's what he relies on. So that's our probably point, is that he's not changing the way he plays. He's still able to play the same way, which is super impressive. To get that split, to get that lead up, it's harder when you get older.
It's remarkable what he's doing, Jack Gunston. He gets the 3 votes in the ABC Footballer of the Year. Melbourne against Collingwood on Friday night of next week. Hawthorn to play Brisbane on Sunday night. So that's
juicy,
isn't it? So next Sunday, of course, you've got Western Bulldogs and Freo in the middle slot, and then Hawthorn and Brisbane to finish things off. We'll just about wrap up our broadcast here on the Hawks song. Adelaide and Collingwood tonight. Who do you think wins that league?
I think Adelaide, and comfortably. I saw some things last week with Collingwood that were just not ability to put enough pressure on the footy, and with the way Adelaide have been going, if they can get some real clean ball movement and get into their forwards, they look very shaky down back, the Pies.
Yeah, I've gone Adelaide. I've actually gone Collingwood in my tipping because I needed a few roughies because I'm second. So I'm going down swinging.
Right.
But I
think of happiness insurance.
Yeah, so exactly right. Win-win either way.
Yep, so it's going to be a magnificent night at the Adelaide Oval Tonight, of course, you will hear it all here on ABC Sport. We'll get you some reaction from the Hawthorn rooms to send into that game as well. So if you're a Hawks fan and you're interested on look to that game tonight, you will hear from your team in the rooms very shortly as well. That's where we will find Lex Pesce very, very shortly. As they start to filter into the rooms, they needed to take care of business, Lex. They did it, and they've hopefully got a little bit more to play out in this season yet, the Hawthorn side, as they head into September.
Absolutely. There's a few sighs of relief, but that one wasn't a hard one. Although it doesn't get any easier, Brisbane next week at the Gabba is pretty tough, but they'll soak this one up with a lot of family and friends. I'm actually quite surprised by how many people are in this room. I think we're at capacity. It's 1 in, 1 out at this point. I actually noticed Sam Mitchell down on the boundary. He was up and about before they walked in, so you can imagine the vibes are very high amongst the team, and they feel very high down here. We'll get the song in just a moment. I think a few of the players are going to grab their kids. I think Luke Bruce is looking around for his, so is Jack Gunston. Don't know how long those kids will have left around here, unfortunately, but no, it's a big family affair at the moment as the Hawthorn Football Club celebrates a remarkable win quite comprehensively, so we'll get the song.
So very happy with their work are the Hawks, and why not 36-point winners over the D's here on Saturday footy here at the MCG. About time to send you to Adelaide and Collingwood. Thanks very much to Lex for her efforts in the rooms and down on the boundary today, braving the weather here in Melbourne on a changeable Saturday. Thanks to Jules as well. Lids and Chad, good to see you. Look forward to hearing more from both of you throughout the course of the season. Loz, look forward to hearing from you down in Hobart tomorrow.
Can't wait. Me and Berkey are going on a road trip.
Look out, that road trip with Nathan Burke. That's all kinds of fun. In the W, it is three-quarter time. Essendon 64 to GWS 26, so doing it really easy, the Dons. Another game to come in the W tonight. Earlier today, Carlton and GWS, your winners. Big night of footy ahead, though, at the Adelaide Oval. It is all set up for Adelaide and Collingwood. A real heavyweight battle, a blockbuster. Aaron Bryans, Tom Wilson, Rod Jamieson, Josh Franco and Braden Ingram are your call team. That's all ahead. Enjoy your night at the footy on ABC Sport.
Hello, Patrick Stack here. Do you like sport and good conversation? Then we've got a great podcast for you. One cracking story, in depth, every day, in under 15 minutes. It's called ABC Sport Daily, and you can find it on the ABC Listen app.